that this House do agree with the report of the Committee of the Whole House on its consideration of the Virtual Asset Service Providers Bill, National Assembly Bill number 15 of 2025. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Next order. Number 9. Mover to reply. Yeah. Mover move to third reading. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I saw the member, at least 3 members walking out when you're on your feet, led by the Honorable Gudun. So those who are on their feet maybe should watch your movements. When you stand up, they don't walk out also. Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that the Virtual Asset Service Providers Bill, National Assembly Bill number 15 of 2025 be now read a third time. And I also request the Honorable Naomi Wako to second.
I second. Thank you.
Honorable members, I now propose the question that the Virtual Asset Service Providers Bill, National Assembly Bill number 15 of 2025 be now read a third time. Honorable members, I now put the question that the Virtual Asset Service Providers Bill, National Assembly Bill number 15 of 2025 be now read a third time. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
A bill for an act of parliament to provide for the legal framework to license and regulate the activities of virtual asset service providers and for connected purposes. Order number 9, motion, report of the Committee of the Whole House on its consideration of the Kenya Roads Amendment number 3 Bill, National Assembly Bill number 34 of 2025, question to be put in third reading.
Honorable members, I now put the question that this House do agree with the report of the Committee of the Whole House on its consideration of the Kenya Roads Amendment Bill, number 3, Bill, National Assembly Bill, number 34 of 2025. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Mover. Honorable Kaluma is not here. Okay.
Honorable Speaker, he had requested me to do this for him. With your indulgence, Honorable Speaker, I beg to move the Kenya Roads Amendment Bill number 3, National Assembly Bill number 34 of 2025 be now read a third time, and I also request the Honorable Dr. Nyikal to second.
Honorable Speaker, I second.
Honorable members, I now put the question that the Kenya Roads Amendment, Honorable members, I now propose the question that the Kenya Roads Amendment number 3 Bill, National Assembly Bill number 34 of 2025 be now read a third time. Honorable members, I now put the question that the Kenya Roads Amendment number 3 Bill, National Assembly Bill number 34 of 2025 be now read a third time. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as of the contrary opinion say no? Nay. The ayes have it. Yes, Majority Leader.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I want to beg your indulgence regarding orders number 10 on Committee of the Whole House on the Privatization Bill, National Assembly Bill number 36 of 2025, that you do indulge me to step down this business for today, because a number of members have approached me, and I believe they have also spoken to you, Honorable Speaker, regarding their need to file amendments, and we wanted to have, or rather allow them up to the close of business today. Anybody who has any further amendments regarding this bill, we allow them this afternoon so that by the close of business today, they can file all the amendments with you for approval, and we may consider this bill at a later date, Honorable Speaker.
Okay, Majority Leader, let the clerk just read out the order read out order number 10, and then the majority leader can just conclude on that point. Just the title, yes.
Okay. The title for the Kenya Roads Amendment Bill, a bill for an act of parliament to amend the Kenya Roads Act and for connected purposes.
Okay. Then read out number 10.
Order number 10, Committee of the Whole House.
Okay. Honorable Majority Leader.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, sorry for that. I think we jumped the gun. Honorable Speaker, I was requesting that you do indulge us. As I had indicated, there are a number of members who have approached me and your office, indicating that they would want to file more amendments on the privatization bill. And therefore, we want to indulge all those members that may want to file amendments to do so by the close of business today, so that we are able to review them and progress with this business at a later time, Honorable Speaker. And I thank you.
You can tell them today, the 7th of October.
Yes,
22,
today,
so that it's clear,
meaning
and the time.
by the close of business today, 7th of October 2025, that being
5 p.m.
1900 hours for when the House rises, and you have up to midnight to file your amendments, and after that, as they say, may you forever remain quiet or until you bring we have another bill touching on that issue. Honorable Speaker,
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, honorable members. I hope that's clear. So let's now go back to petitions. I think we had completed the statements. Yes, I think I will go to petitions. Then we shall come back and continue with statements, because we have guests here from the Kenya Network of Cancer Organization who have actually been here from the beginning to listen to their petition. So allow me to read out their petition when they are still present, then we can go back to our other business. I think it's a considerate thing to do. So read order number 4.
Order number 4, petitions.
Honorable members, Article 119 of the Constitution accords any person the right to petition Parliament to consider any matters within its authority. Further, Standing Order 2252B requires the Speaker to report to the House any petition other than those presented by a member to the House. In this regard, honorable members, I wish to report to the House that my office has received a petition from the Kenya Network of Cancer Organization, KENCO, which represents over 70 civil society groups and thousands of cancer patients in Kenya. Honorable members, the organization is seeking to highlight systemic failures experienced through the Social Health Authority, SHA, and to call for the urgent reforms in the cancer care financing. Various challenges have been encountered by cancer patients through SHA in the following ways: reduced and inadequate cancer benefit packages, bureaucratic delays and system failures, poor communication and lack of transparency, service suspensions due to pending bills, overseas treatment policy changes, underfunding of SHA funds, and emotional and mental strain. The Kenya Network of Cancer Organization further contends that the universal and fair health coverage remains far from a reality for cancer patients. It requires urgent reforms, otherwise cancer patients will continue to experience needless delays, overwhelming costs, and unavoidable deaths. Honorable members, the Kenya Network of Cancer Organization concludes by praying that the National Assembly does the following. 1, ensuring an enhancement of oncology benefits, which was cut from 600,000 per individual under NHIF to 400,000 per household under SHA. 2, commissions an independent audit of SHA funds, reviewing benefit structures, creating reforms for fairness and sustainability in cancer care financing, and ensure adequate allocation of funds to the Primary Health Care Fund and the Emergency, Chronic, and Critical Illnesses Fund. And 3, makes any other order or direction it deems fit in addressing the plight of the petitioners. Given the nature of the prayer sought by the Kenya Network of Cancer Organization, I hereby commit this matter to the Departmental Committee on Health for consideration, especially as the committee is seized of similar matters. The committee is required to consider the matters contained in the prayers of the organization, conduct an inquiry, and report its findings to the House and to the petitioners. Further, the committee will also be expected to provide policy and legislative interventions to be actualized by the House to bring this matter, which keeps recurring, to a closure. As I conclude, I wish to recognize the presence of 10 officials of the Kenya Network of Cancer Organization seated in the Speaker's Gallery, and may I ask them to rise for the House to recognize them. Thank you. Yes, Honorable Majority Leader.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Allow me first to thank the network, the Kenya Network of Cancer Organizations, for that very timely petition. And I must also commend you, Honorable Speaker, for committing that particular petition to the Health Committee, because I think in the Health Committee, the issues that they have raised are very pertinent, and they will be better off addressed by the specific departmental committee other than the Petitions Committee. And I want to request, Honorable Speaker, that even as we consider those, and Honorable Nyikal, the chair of the Health Committee, is here, he'll bear me witness that at least in the recent past, we have done well to try and allocate further resources, especially to the Primary Health Care Fund and the Critical and Emergency Illnesses Fund. I think we have almost about 21 billion, but that money is not enough. And therefore, we must, as has been petitioned by the petitioners, as a house that allocates funds to SHA, to the Ministry of Health, and to all our health facilities, help Dr. Nyikal and the ministry to be able to allocate more resources, more so to the Critical and Emergencies Fund, because under SHA, Honorable Speaker, under this fund for Critical Illnesses Fund, the treatment of cancer, diabetes, hypertension, and such other critical illnesses fall under this fund. And therefore, irrespective of how much is provided for under the mainstream SHA package, if we have further resources under the Critical Illnesses Fund, these patients and many Kenyans can be able to access further benefits from the fund, Honorable Speaker. And I want to agree with them, Honorable Speaker, the package as it is today, it may look generous, but the cost of cancer treatment is very expensive, not just in this country, Honorable Speaker, but around the world. And therefore, we must, Honorable Speaker, be able to do all that we can to support our cancer patients and ensure that the packages that are benefiting from SHA are also enhanced, probably from the current 400,000 to 600,000, or even more, at least 1 million shillings under SHA. Honorable Speaker, I want to ask the Honorable Chair of this committee, Honorable Nyikal, to work expeditiously to ensure that you do recommend to the ministry and to SHA the levels. And I know Dr. Nyikal, being a medical doctor himself, is very well appraised of these matters. He knows, he has been the director of medical services. He therefore knows how expensive cancer treatment can be, Honorable Speaker. And also being able to ensure that there is standardization of the cost of cancer treatment, Honorable Speaker. Because Honorable Nyikal will tell you also, you will find the cost of treatment of chemo, of radiotherapy in one health facility in the country, in the capital, in Nairobi, is prohibitively expensive as compared probably to a mission hospital out in our rural areas, Honorable Speaker. And it's the same treatment, same drugs, same treatment regime. And the variance, Honorable Speaker, is also something I would also ask the Honorable Nyikal to look at together with his committee, so that we also standardize cancer treatment so that it does not matter where in this country you come from, whether you're in Nairobi or in Marsabit or in Kwale or in Kikuyu, you get the same level of treatment in our health facilities on cancer treatment. And once again, let me thank the organization of cancer organizations for their boldness and diligence to not only speak out there, but to come to where it matters most, and you have brought your petition to the right place, because these members here, not only being your representatives, but also being the people charged with the responsibility of having the power of the purse. They have now your petition. It is in the right hands under Dr. Nyikal, and we will do all it takes to support your petition and support the enhancement of the cancer care facilities around the country. I know the government has committed to building a number of cancer centers around the country, from Kisii to Meru to Nyeri, I think, and many other places, but also to ensure that we allocate more resources towards cancer treatment. And I thank you for your diligence and your boldness. You are great Kenyans, and I thank you.
Honorable Nyikal, maybe you just confirm to them that within the time frame within which you hope to finish looking at their petition.
Thank you, Madam
And also
Speaker.
the assurance that they will have a chance to appear before the committee.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. May I also thank the Kenya Cancer Network for actually bringing this petition. I'm aware, even before I look at the petitions and from what you have read, that actually there's a discrepancy between the benefit tariff for cancer, the benefit package for cancer and the tariff thereof, and the cost of cancer in the country. The cost of cancer is much higher than the tariff. And so in the shift, they'll get some care, some cover for inpatient, but it runs out. And therefore it is expected that emergency care and critical illness fund should take over. And as the leader of majority was saying, we have actually put about 8 billion, if you leave out the primary care fund, in that fund. And that is something we are looking at. And it also underlines the cost of care in the country generally. That's something we need to look at, where there should be so much discrepancies. And again, it actually fits within the issues of SHA that our committee is now involved in. And so, in my view, it actually gives us a chance to fit in what we are looking into, the issue of cancer and how it can be taken care of, how the primary care can be used to prevent it, and the emergency critical care can be used to support the chief care that is given. So we are seized of this matter, and we are going to look at it, and we will actually report to this House what can be done about cancer and all other issues that relate to SHA in the provision of healthcare in the country. So, in fact, immediately after this, I'll have an audience with them. Some members are actually out at the gate, and we'll address them on the process that this thing will follow within the committee. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Makali, you have a point of order?
Yeah, thank you so much, Honorable Speaker. Just to comment on this petition, and let me join my colleagues in appreciating the petitioners for this important petition. But two observations, Honorable Speaker. One of them is I agree with those who are saying we need to up the budget because this is a budget-making house. But more critical, this being a network of cancer organizations, I think it's also need to supplement the government's efforts in terms of encouraging Kenyans to go for screening. Because you know, Honorable Speaker, we say prevention is better than curing. So we need to encourage more Kenyans through the network so that they go for early testing, early screening, so that we can treat this cancer at the early stages. I submit, Honorable Speaker. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. And in conclusion, I just want to assure our guests, the Kenya Network of Cancer Organizations, that the matter is now within the departmental committee, and that we remain committed to continue to improve the care that's available. Each of these members have sworn to uphold the Constitution, which includes Article 43, which gives you the right to the best possible medical care attainable. So that is something that the House is committed to. We shall continue to work towards it. Every time a new program comes, sometimes the challenges that are ahead of it are not known until implementation. So we appreciate that you've brought that feedback to the National Assembly, and that you have our commitment that we continue to improve. And as many of you will know, that I'm a committed fighter of cancer and held many medical camps in Uasin Gishu County, and in fact have a big cancer walk on the 18th of this month. And you're all welcome to join us. Thank you. All right, now, honorable members, let us go back to statements. And we only had one statement that was requesting for, one request for a statement that was remaining before we go to the responses. There was the statement of the Honorable Bernard Kitur, request for a statement by the Honorable Bernard Kitur. Is he back? Member for Nandi Hills. He's on his way. Honorable Donya, you have a point of order?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Because we are still on statements, I remember, Madam Speaker, I've done 3 statements on T-bonuses. Until today, Madam Speaker, I've not yet been given a response by the chairperson of Agriculture. As I was waiting for the response, Madam Speaker, we saw on news the farmers were now paid 10 shillings per kilo, Madam Speaker. When we were making the request for statement, the farmers had been paid 22 shillings, Madam Speaker. Now, I don't know it's because we shouted, I don't know it's because we made a statement, Madam Speaker, because when that statement was made, farmers from Kisii region, from Western, they called and said, at least we have someone who is taking care of our concerns. Now that we didn't get the response, Madam Speaker, and the farmers were paid 10 shillings per kilo, now we are receiving a blame from the farmers that we are the cause of their bonuses coming down by half, Madam Speaker. I'm not even wrong to say, yes, we have different types of workers, Madam Speaker. We have teachers, we have nurses, we have sex workers. Sex workers are even paid better, Madam Speaker, than the T-bonuses that they were giving our farmers. So we want to tell our farmers to stop farming and go do what will give. I'm not, no point of order. I'm still here, Madam Speaker. We are aggrieved on this issue of T-bonuses. There is nothing to be proud about, Madam Speaker, and we need the Minister for Agriculture to come to this house and give us a response on why the tea farmers, especially from Kisii, Kericho, Western, they were paid peanuts. In fact, they were abused, Madam Speaker. I have no better language to express my concerns on what they've done to our tea farmers. I just need that response now, or else I'll not leave this house. Today I'm going to sleep here, Madam Speaker. The chair must answer.
Is the chairperson from the vice chair is here, Honorable Brighton? Let's listen to the vice chairperson. On behalf of the committee, the complaint is very clear. There's been 3 statements that have not been responded to. Give him the mic. Allow him this. He's already on his feet.
Okay. Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Indeed, what Honorable Donya, the concerns of Honorable Donya is genuine. And I also raised a statement over the same. And as an interested party, and the ministry responded to in writing. And I believe the response was also channeled to Honorable Donya. However, we were not satisfied with the response from the ministry, and we had scheduled for a meeting so that we could invite Honorable Donya, and because there were around 3 interested members over the same.
I think since yourself you're in agreement that you have requested for the statement and you have not received it, there are 3 other members. Honorable Donya said she had 3 other statements. None have been responded to. Maybe the advice is, Honorable Donya, just come up with a substantive question, and then on a Wednesday, the minister can come here and respond to it. Because now it's more than 7 questions. 7 requests for statements.
Honorable Speaker, the ministry responded in writing, but the answers were unsatisfactory. And therefore, we had invited them to come to the committee, and we were intending also to call Honorable Donya and 2 other members who had interest in the same. Okay. But it seems things have been overtaken by events. But since this is a contemporary issue, we will still invite the ministry and KTDA, T-Board, and the concerned stakeholders to come and face the committee so that we can be able to address this issue accordingly.
You can summon all the other stakeholders, but we still, Honorable Donya is at liberty to ask for the minister to come and answer on the floor of the House. Honorable Sioi, what is your point of order, Honorable Donya? Okay, let Honorable Donya finish her sentence, then we can proceed.
Madam Speaker, I thank Honorable Yegon. He has said that they replied 3 times and the answers were vague. Now I wanted to take this matter to court. I think the courts will serve us better than the Minister for Agriculture. So I need lawyers, Madam Speaker. Parliament has enough lawyers. I don't need the Minister of Agriculture because another lawyer is here, Kaluma, working. So Madam Speaker, please, I don't want to be engaged by the Ministry of Agriculture, but we do it judicially now, Madam Speaker, so
Honorable
that the farmers
Sioi,
can get justice.
Thank you. Honorable Sioi. Honorable Sioi was on her feet. Honorable Sioi had already requested. Honorable Sioi, proceed first. Proceed, Honorable Sioi. Honorable Baya, I am the only person who can give you the floor, and I'm giving it to Honorable Sioi. Honorable Sioi, proceed. Honorable Sioi,
Thank you.
Proceed.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker also stand to support that question because you see, we had already done so well in agriculture and we really need to promote the farmers. And by giving a subsidy on fertilizer was a big win to the farmers. Right now, Mr. Speaker, Madam Speaker, after what has happened, I've just seen farmers uprooting their tea plantations, which is not a very good indicator on the farmers and even in the country. I'm also concerned, I come from Trans Nzoia where we do farm maize, and I know the biggest problem that we are going to have is the prices of maize plantation, of our produce, because right now we are harvesting. I know that we have a very good harvest, but towards the end of the day, Madam Speaker, we are going to have the bad pricing of the maize of our produce, of which, Madam Speaker, we really need to regularize. When it comes to the farmers, now that we have given them subsidy, let us give them the best price so that we promote them and we promote the agriculture sector, Madam Speaker. Thank you.
You know, the Honorable Buyer, if you request respectfully but not stand by force, that is bordering on bullying the Speaker, which I will not allow you to do. So you have to apologize, or else I will not see you. Okay, you may say your point of order in under a minute.
Apologize. I apologize on record, Honorable Speaker.
And I usually know you as a gentleman, so yes. When you heckle, I worry.
Okay, thank you. Honorable Speaker, I apologize for that, but Honorable Speaker, I want to say this. I support Honorable Donya to the extent that tea farmers and coffee farmers, all farmers must be. I also want to grow coffee and tea in Kilifi, and I want better prices. But Honorable Speaker, the Honorable Donya should not cede the authority of this House to the judiciary by saying that now that it has not been answered here, she says she wants to take it to court. Yes, you have a right to do that, and everybody else has a, but you cannot cede the authority of the House, Honorable Speaker, to the courts, Honorable Speaker, to say, you know, because this parliament has not given me a good response, I will go to court. Honorable Speaker, that is not procedural. It is not at all. And actually, you should ask the Honorable Donya to withdraw that statement. That because it has not been answered here, she will go to court. She can do that, but not on the floor of the House, because we're three arms of government, and that principle must be protected by this House, by the courts, and the executive. Other than saying, if it can't be happen here in this chamber on the floor, you say you want to go to court. I want to tutor. I want to use that word, to tutor the Honorable Donya, who is a very good legislator. Please do not make Parliament look weak at any one time, Honorable Speaker. Never make Parliament look weak. Don't make Parliament look weak.
Now, Honorable Bayer, I think she's within her right to say that she wants to take that step. She's perfectly within her constitutional rights. But also, I don't think she's making Parliament weak. The committee and the cabinet secretary, by not responding to her statement, are the ones weakening Parliament. I don't think it's Honorable Donya. She's trying to make Parliament do its work. Honorable Kagusha, then we'll close this and move on. And Honorable Ngeno.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I think Honorable Mbaya is now developing bad manners by gagging members. Honorable Donya has every right to be able to raise the issue of the payment of tea. Honorable Speaker, I also noticed for sure that from the government reports and statistics that we have seen, the tea earnings in the last year increased from 185 billion to 215 billion. Now, it is very surprising and shocking that even after the tea earnings have increased from 185 billion to 215 billion, the farmers this year have received less bonus. Honorable Speaker, it will be very important for us to understand, where did the difference go? Where did the increase go? Why didn't this increase get to the farmers' pocket? Yet we are supposed to be increasing the farmers' pocket. And Honorable Speaker, I truly and fully support that Honorable Donya's question be answered without any hesitation, so that we can be able to get a way forward on this matter. Because it seems there are some people who are taking advantage of farmers, and it seems like our leader here could have some idea of what is happening. Honorable Speaker, I suggest next time the Honorable Mbaya should understand when we are discussing issues to do with fish, not when we are discussing issues to do with coffee and tea. Thank you very, very much, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Ngeno, let's put you have under a minute, Honorable Ngeno, under a minute. Then I'll come to, yes.
Madam Speaker, I don't know if members really understand the gravity of this matter of tea. Madam Speaker, when these bonuses were announced, I think a week or 2 weeks or a month ago, there has been a lot of anxiety, especially from farmers from southern part of Rift Valley, and especially what they categorize as the western side. Madam Speaker, if you look at tea, if you look at the bonus for farmers in Nyamira, Kisii, Bomet, Kericho, Narok, Nandi, it is very devastating. Even most of the farmers, as we speak now, Madam Speaker, are uprooting their tea. Most of the farmers have stopped even vehicles which normally go to collect tea. And some of them are declaring that there is no more picking of tea, there is no more selling of tea until this matter is settled. Madam Speaker, I don't think the summoning of the CS is enough. I think this House should take a very serious step to form either an ad hoc committee or something that can really relook into this matter of bonus, Madam Speaker, because our farmers are suffering. And people are wondering, there has been so many comparisons. People are comparing the price of one egg to the price of 1 kilo of tea. People are comparing now the sex workers as vis-a-vis, Madam Speaker, this matter is so grave. I don't know how we are going to take it seriously. And Vice Chair, I don't know, the Vice Chair is one of the victims. He's one of those victims who is also suffering. I think it is time you request this House, Madam Speaker, to form a committee, a special committee that would look into this matter. Because when you listen to Mheshimiwa Kagusha, he's saying the bonus came at around, it rose from 170-something billion, 185 billion to 215 billion. Madam Speaker, this should have been, it can't be possible that now at this age and era, farmers are earning as low as 10 shillings per kilo. And yet, picking that tea is more expensive.
and even transporting it to the, you know, Madam Speaker, I think we need to sit as a House and rethink on what we can do to settle this tea matter once and for all. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Is it Honorable Sige? My eyesight fails me. Next to Honorable Brighton. Honorable Brighton, the member next to you. Yes, Sige. Yes, I said Sige, but I wasn't sure because my eyes.
Honorable Speaker, I want to stand here as a member of parliament from Sotik, and I want to support Honorable Ndonya. Honorable Baya does not understand what it means to be a tea farmer and to suffer. Madam Speaker, the Vice Chair, who was reading a statement here, is one of the most affected. We share one factory, Magogoshek, which was paid 12 shillings. Madam Speaker, the pain and suffering of our farmers, my farmers take Sotik, Kapkatet, and Boito. And Madam Speaker, people are suffering in our region. There must be something to be done. I'm a farmer, Madam Speaker, and I feel bad about what's happening. Imagine the difference between bonus, even the little we are given, 12 shillings, and then in Central Province they are given 60 shillings. Madam Speaker, are we living in the same country? Are we serving these people of this country? The farmers who suffer, the tea farmer who goes out and goes to a buying center from 7 in the evening up to midnight. Then you pay 12 shillings. What an agency. KTDA, Madam Speaker, must be dismantled. They are not an agency anymore because we are really suffering and something must be done. And when you hear Honorable Ndonya talking about going to court, it's not because he likes it. Because our people are suffering. Our people are suffering. Madam Speaker, something must be done by the government. Because we cannot continue like this. Our people are suffering. We represent them. And we must do something. So I support that we form a kind of an ad hoc committee to address this issue. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Honorable members, before we proceed, I know I'll allow members to talk about this. Honorable Maungu, I know I saw your... Honorable Dixon Maungu. You had asked to speak, but allow me to recognize our guests who are here before, then I'll give you an opportunity. Honorable members, I wish to introduce to you a delegation of the following senior citizens from Turbo constituency who are seated in the Speaker's gallery. Mr. Samuel Kimeto Kiprugut, Mrs. Magdalene Rugut, and Mr. Julius Ngetich. And I want you to give them a round of applause. These are the parents of our First Lady, Her Excellency Rachel Ruto, and they also vote for me. More reason why you should clap for them. And they also vote for their member of parliament is the Honorable Janet Sitiene, who arranged for their travel here. You're welcome to the Houses of Parliament. Karibuni. Okay, Maungu, did you still want to say something?
Speaker.
What's your point of order?
I've not said anything.
Honorable Kangogo, let me just allow him go with his point of order. It better be relevant.
Madam Speaker, what we are ventilating in is what the Honorable Donya has just raised, that there was a statement she raised and the answers given were not satisfactory. So, Madam Speaker, even if there were some members who wanted to joyride on that point, it's just maybe 2 or 3. Otherwise, there is no debate about tea in the floor of the House. We are digressing too much from our order paper.
I think as representatives of the people who deal with anything that concerns the people, it's important for the public to know that we are concerned and that members have raised concern, or else we look like we are not empathizing at all with their plight. Yeah, but let's keep it brief in under a minute, Honorable Maungu. And then I think we have 2 more people, and then I'll allow the Chair Agriculture to say something, and then we can close.
Thank you,
Proceed.
Speaker. Mine was just to bring to your attention an act that I meant was not parliamentary. My sister, Honorable Donya, were trying to articulate an issue which was very right, moved to the dispatch table, and actually threw a bottle of water towards Mheshimiwa Mbaya, which targeting his head. Madam Speaker, that almost...
Honorable Maungu, you are
killed-
crying more than the bereaved.
Madam
It is
Speaker,
Honorable Baya who's bereaved.
had it been that Baya had said it to
And he has
Honorable
not
Donya,
said anything.
he could have been... He was intimidated, Mr. Speaker. And, Mr. Speaker, are you protecting the female gender against the male gender? Because I felt that was an affront to the male gender in the House.
He will speak for himself. He's always very articulate and very loud. So if he has not spoken, he has decided to hold his peace. And neither did the Sergeant at Arms notice. So I think we shall proceed. Yes, proceed. Mm-hmm. Yes. Where is the...
I'm on the floor.
Yes. No, your last, Honorable Mutunga. Mm-hmm.
Speaker. Oh. Thank you, Madam Speaker. I want to join the members of the tea growing areas in sympathizing with this very, very grave payment that came out, Madam Speaker. And I want to congratulate the Honorable Donya for being a true people's representative. The people of Kisii, the people of Kericho, where tea is grown, deserve that their issues must be addressed. And Madam Speaker, I think I want to support the line of the forming of an ad hoc committee of Parliament to investigate, Madam Speaker, the whole tea chain from the farm up to the tea auction in Mombasa, because there are cartels who have gone back to the tea sector and they are killing this sector, Madam Speaker. And I'm requesting you, Madam Speaker, to allow the formation of an ad hoc committee that will look thoroughly into the issues and bring them to the floor of this House for the purpose of the people of Kenya and to give hope to the farmers, to the tea farmers of this country. Madam Speaker, I thank you.
Honorable Wango, you had a point of order, now you have moved away from your desk. Maybe I can give Honorable Mutunga a chance. Did you... Honorable Dorothy, I'll give you, please briefly under 1 minute, and then Honorable Mutunga can... I think she'll be able to speak for you. You're from the same region.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I want to say kudos to Madam Doris Donya for bringing this very, very important statement, petition in this House. Honorable Speaker, this matter is a matter of national importance. Honorable Speaker, the tea growing areas, Meru being one of them, farmers there are not only crying, but they don't even know how they will repay the money that they had bought to take care of their tea farms. Honorable Speaker, I want to join the members who have said let us have an ad hoc committee that will investigate this matter and investigate it thoroughly until we put it to rest, Honorable Speaker. From the farmer to the tea factories up to the auction, where did the money of farmers go? Honorable Speaker, we cannot sit here
Honorable
and
Brighton, switch off your mic.
Destroying, Honorable Speaker, destroying the good work that our government is doing. Subsidized fertilizer is already with the farmers, and then somewhere along the way, farmers don't get value and returns for their sweat. Honorable Speaker, it's very sad, and I want to join the other members by saying, let us do thorough investigation, Honorable Speaker. Thank you.
Honorable Dawood, you're the last one I'll allow to speak on this topic. Make it under a minute. But
Yeah,
honorable
Madam
members
Speaker,
and honorable boy, the
Madam
reason why I allowed it is because at the moment I know many tea farmers who are bordering on suicide, in depression and hospitalized because they've suddenly lost all their life savings.
Madam Speaker, point of order was for Ambassador Segei when he said the central region is getting the most, but he should know even the area in Meru, there are tea factories which are getting even 25 shillings. So he should not balkanize us as central getting more than anywhere else. We get 50, we get 25. There is a disparity everywhere. So please, I ask you, Madam Speaker, to ask Honorable Segei to withdraw the remarks he made regarding Central getting more.
Okay, Honorable Mutunga, what's your point of order, Honorable Kaluma and Honorable Wangwe? Honorable Wangwe was the one to go first. What's your point of order?
Honorable Speaker,
okay.
There is a difference between Central Kenya, Eastern region, and Mount Kenya region. My brother is talking about Central Kenya, and yet he's talking of Meru, which is in Eastern region. The debate was about Central Kenya. Meru is in Mount Kenya region, but not Central Kenya. The provinces as arranged initially does not include Meru. Meru is in Eastern, Upper Eastern.
Okay, Honorable Mutunga, let me allow you to put closure to this.
Yeah, thank you.
Make it brief.
Thank you very much,
Yes.
Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, to my very respected friend, Honorable Kaluma. Honorable Kaluma, it is important for you to know that the center of Kenya is Isiolo, and Isiolo is actually next to Meru. It is the center of Kenya. That's if you look at Kenya from all corners. Honorable Speaker, yes, he did. Honorable Donya did ask the question, and it was answered. She and many of us felt it was not sufficient, and then we requested for a further exploration of the answer. Honorable Speaker, the answer has still not satisfied most of us here. Tea is grown in 19 counties in this country, Honorable Speaker. And as we speak here, we should speak hope to the farmers of this country. Honorable Speaker, it takes about 3 years for somebody to start picking tea, and about 7 years for someone to optimally benefit from a tea bush. When we watch as farmers uproot tea up to the roots and not just cut at the surface, Honorable Speaker, we need to speak hope to our farmers because all is not lost. Honorable Speaker, one or two of us are saying that we should do away with the KTDA. I have absolutely no linkage with KTDA. I want to pronounce myself Honorable Speaker. But Honorable Speaker, let me tell you something. Let me tell this House something. Honorable Speaker, KTDA is lauded as the best smallholder tea management firm in the world. It is quoted in the East, it is quoted in the North, it is quoted in the South. So we should not destroy our best, really. We should explore what is the problem. Honorable Speaker, in coffee, we had problems. And we formed a coffee caucus. I would urge the members in this House to come out strongly. We form a tea caucus that will look at the issues that are affecting the tea pricing in different parts of this country. I think, Honorable Speaker, that's the best approach because our caucus won't be lifelong. It will not be a one-off activity. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, honorable members. I think now we'll continue with our statements. And we had the statement. This is the third and last time I'm calling out for the request for statement by the Honorable Bernard Kitur.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the provisions.
No, first apologize.
I sincerely apologize, Madam Speaker. I had stepped out and I didn't know it was coming that fast. Sincere apologies for the same. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 44-2C, I rise to request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Transport and Infrastructure regarding the expansion of the Eldoret-Shamahoho Road. Honorable Speaker, the Eldoret-Shamahoho Road is a major transport corridor which links Eldoret to Kisumu and serves as a key route for the movement of goods and passengers between the North Rift and Western regions. The road designed in the late 1960s is no longer able to cater for the volume of traffic between the two regions. This has led to frequent congestion and has been reportedly linked to the rise in road accidents, some of which have resulted in fatalities. The Eldoret-Shamahogo Road is important for trade, transport, and regional connectivity, and it is imperative that the Ministry of Roads and Transport enhances its capacity and safety of the motorists. Honorable Speaker, it's against this background that I request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Transport and Infrastructure on the following. Number one, immediate measures that the ministry has taken to ensure that Eldoret-Shamahogo Road can adequately handle the increasing traffic volumes. And secondly, expected timelines for expanding the Eldoret-Shamahogo Road to support the fast-growing volume of traffic. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
The member for the chairperson for the for transport and infrastructure, are you here? I can see you, Honorable GK. When will you respond to the issue of the Eldoret-Shamahogo Road? How long?
In 2 weeks, Honorable Speaker.
Okay, thank you. We shall move to the statements that have been, we still have two other statements which are not on the order paper but had been approved. The statement by Honorable Alice Nganga on Nyota, and then a statement by the Honorable Rueda of Lamu. Proceed, Honorable Nganga.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the provision of Standing Orders 44.2D, I wish to make a statement appraising this Honorable House on the launch of the National Youth Opportunities Toward Advancement Nyota project. Honorable Speaker, His Excellency the President, having determined that the youth are the future of this great nation, has launched the second phase of the National Youth Opportunities Toward Advancement Nyota project. This initiative stems from the President's desire to empower the youths of this country through various approaches, including supporting of startups and other ventures. Having noted that the first phase of the program had not reached the intended youth in the grassroots and village across the country, the President launched the second phase last Friday on 3rd October and further directed that Nyota be rolled out yesterday in all 47 counties. The President's objective in the second phase is to reach vulnerable youth from remote areas and ensure equity is achieved through all areas being represented. Honorable Speaker, Nyota is a 5-year Government of Kenya initiative financed by the World Bank Group, which is expected to have invested a total of 5 billion shillings during the 5 years of funding. It seeks to enhance youth employability, employment opportunity, and saving culture among vulnerable and unemployed youth across the country. The project is coordinated by the State Department of Youth Affairs and the Creative Economy and implemented through a multi-agency framework involving the National Industrial Training Authority, the National Employment Authority, the Micro and Small Enterprise Authority, the National Social Security Fund, and the State Department for Labor and Skills Development. Honorable Speaker, Nyota aligns with Vision 2030, the bottom-up economic transformation agenda better, and the National Youth Development Policy, positioning youth as the drivers of economic transformation. Nyota project targets 820,000 vulnerable unemployed youth aged between 18 and 29 years and up to 35 years of persons with disability with Form 4 education and below. Nyota overall goals are to address youth unemployment and underemployment, expand income-generating opportunities, foster savings and entrepreneurship, and building long-term economic resilience through youth-led growth. Nyota project will be delivered through 4 integrated interventions. These include improving youth employability, also business enterprise support, youth saving support, and also support for employment system and digital empowerment. Honorable Speaker, Nyota will also undertake the master craftsmen onboarding and mobilization. Here, a nationwide master craftsmen onboarding exercise will take place from 6th to 17th October 2025. This program aims to identify skilled artisans across all counties, facilitate youth transition to employment, post-apprenticeship, and apprenticeship. Given the most Nyota beneficiary will work in the informal sector, master craftsmen are critical in linking training with employment. Honorable Speaker, following the directive by the President, the Ministry of Youth Affairs, Creative Economy and Sport will conduct a second countrywide youth intake from 6 to 12 of October 2025 to reach vulnerable youth from remote areas and balance county representation. The following are the targets per intervention. Under the on-the-job experience, 62 youths per ward are also to be enrolled. Under the business support, 70 youth per ward are to be enrolled. Under the recognition of prior running, 130 youth per county are to be enrolled. We urge the youth of this county to take advantage of 6 days window to enroll and to be on board with the project, which is the opportunity of a lifetime. To apply, youth ought to dial *254# and select Nyota. The President has adopted a whole-of-government approach and directed that all principal secretaries to spearhead the nationwide grassroots leaders sensitization program of the project in all 47 counties that began yesterday. He has also, in addition, sought the involvement of all leaders from executive, legislatures, and the county government to be engaged and involved in mobilization of the youth and other stakeholders in order to ensure smooth delivery of the project and its successful implementation, to give sufficient chance to every young person to benefit from the project. In the conclusion, I wish to state that the Nyota project is a flagship presidential directive and a cornerstone of government commitment to addressing youth unemployment and promoting inclusive economic growth. With the support of this House, we can empower our young people with the skills, opportunity, and financial tools they need to transform their lives and contribute meaningfully to the national development. Your goodwill and support in the mobilization will be critical to ensuring its success and sustainability. I therefore wish to conclude by appealing to honorable members to mobilize and link up master craftsmen in their respective constituencies with the sub-county youth development officers and in reaching out to the youth targeted at the ward level and county level in support of the noble exercise. I thank you, Honorable Speaker. Thank you very much.
Very well. Order, honorable members. Could we have order in the House? There's this meeting up here, just in front of the clerks. Could that meeting end? Order, members. Is this a Kiwopa meeting? Please dissolve that meeting, please. Now, the statement generally given by the chairperson of social protection should be of great interest to you, honorable members, because the Nyota project is in your constituencies. And I know there are honorable members who even don't know who are benefiting and who are not benefiting, and the proper choice of who. So let me allow some 2 reactions to this one, and this should interest you. Let me give the first chance to the honorable member because the first one there. Proceed.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Let me take this opportunity to contribute to and also congratulate the chairperson on the social protection, Honorable Aris Nganga, for that statement, and also making sure that we are able to start implementing the Nyota program that the government has initiated, especially to benefit the young children, the youth from our constituency in every ward. that there are supposed to be 70 beneficiaries who are supposed to receive about 50,000 shillings per youth to help them and to facilitate them to continue in terms of making sure that their businesses, that their business enabled, to facilitate them, to make sure that they are able to procure and support their businesses, Honorable Speaker. For a long time, the government has been in support of many many programs that are in one way or the other associated with the young people, Mr. Speaker. The government have been accused for not supporting the young people. And we want to call upon all the young people within the Republic of Kenya, wherever they are, especially in my constituency, in my 5 wards, that this money is there to be grabbed, especially in small businesses. Those people, those young people who are doing small businesses within the constituency, within the ward, those people who are doing art and craft, those people who are doing farming, the young people who are doing even agri-businesses, this is their opportunity to grab and run away with it. And Mr. Speaker, many people are saying that 50,000 shillings is something small. But we want to tell them, even with 5,000 shillings, even with 1,000 shillings, it can completely change a lifestyle of a young person within the constituency, as long as he or she knows what she's doing, Mr. Speaker. And therefore, we call upon the young people within the Republic. The money has been released, and we tell them this is their time now to grab this opportunity so that they can support their businesses. I support, Mr. Speaker.
The Honorable Maungu.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, allow me to join my colleagues in recognizing that the Nyota program is indeed a very creative and a very enabling kind of program. However, Mr. Speaker, we have a few challenges with regard to how these recruitments are done. Mr. Speaker, it is said that we need to have about 70 young people in every ward. The question is, how are these young people being identified? Recently, we had officials from Nairobi who came down at the constituency level to train these people, Mr. Speaker, so that they could be able to be trained and be empowered. But you find even identifying these people itself was a challenge, Mr. Speaker, because some of them did apply right, but they are based in Nairobi here, not based at home. So you find that even identifying them so that they can be able to attend the program was a challenge. Mr. Speaker, it would be good that members of parliament are also involved in this program so that we can be able to identify, we can also be able to help them, whip and encourage these young people who are entrepreneurial in nature to actually be able to access these funds, Mr. Speaker. Therefore, my only concern is how these young people are being identified, how these young people, Mr. Speaker, are being recruited so that this program can indeed help them, Mr. Speaker, because I believe and know that if these young people are empowered that amount of 50,000, it will go a long way in having them be able to do whatever kind of business they so desire, Mr. Speaker. And therefore, thank you.
Mr. Speaker, you have given me
Very well, the Honorable JK.
Mr. Speaker, I must thank you. I must thank you even for prompting members to come to their attention to listen into what the Honorable Alice Waboi is saying to Parliament today. And Mr. Speaker, there is a saying that says that we never inherit the world from our ancestors. We borrow it from our children. And the children we are talking about young people at a time of great turmoil, at a time of great disruption, at a time when we are even having this conversation about a generation that is being called the Gen Zs. And Mr. Speaker, we may never blame our youth about some of the things that we see if we ourselves are not stepping up to the plate and offering the opportunities that are available to our people. So, Mr. Speaker, this Nyota program, 5 billion Kenya shillings of it, that is to be absorbed by our young people, is in itself a great initiative. And the call I would have here, Mr. Speaker, is for every leader to go back to their villages and mobilize these young people and let them know that if you're between 18 years and 29 years, here is a great opportunity for a very underserved population, even among the youth, Mr. Speaker. Because we have some youth who are elite, who have been graduated from university, who have graduated from colleges, but this one is specific to Form 4 leavers who may not have benefited from any other program within government. Finally, Mr. Speaker, I must thank the President for tidying up funding within the youth space. Mr. Speaker, there has been so many efforts seeking to alleviate the problems that young people are facing. I am seeing, Mr. Speaker, that if we as leadership are going to take these Nyota as seriously as we should, we are going to have an affordable housing moment, a SHA moment, just as we had affordable housing moment with the housing, just as we had a SHA moment with health. This time round, Mr. Speaker, we have a great moment on funding that is available to young people, on training on skills, on job development, and even recognition of prior learning for those who are not satisfied. So to the people in the Dagoretti South constituency, if you're between 18 and 29, if you are a person with disability, you're being called upon to step up to the plate, star 254 hash, please register to this thing. And I must thank Honorable Alice Wamboi for bringing this to the House. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
The two members, I'll give a chance, make it very short. It's not the main business we have. But before then, allow me to acknowledge in the presence in the gallery the following schools: Ewangan Primary School, Kajiado East, Kajiado County, and then Ewangan Junior Secondary from Kajiado East, and Kajiado County. Let me call upon the Honorable Member, Kakuta Mamai, just to welcome these students. He's in the house. Please give Mamai the mic.
Honorable Speaker, thank you for the opportunity to welcome our students from my constituency to the House of Parliament. I would like to encourage our students. Welcome to this Supreme House here. We are very grateful to have you here, and I'm very happy that our teachers were able to bring these students and expose them to our city, Nairobi, as well as to the National Assembly. These students come from very, very remote villages in my constituency, and I like to encourage them to study very hard because the sky is the limit, and if they study very hard, it is possible to also eventually have one of them here. So I like to say welcome, karibuni sana, study hard. As your MP, I will continue to work very hard to make sure that you have good infrastructure and a conducive learning environment that will make you leaders for tomorrow. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The Honorable Undo.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Let me also allow me to make a comment on the Nyota program. Honorable Speaker, our youths in this country who didn't have ability to go to universities and premier colleges, and those who are disposed towards entrepreneurship and business have been routinely left out. Uwezo Fund has been good, Youth Enterprise Fund has been good, but any addition that enables them to acquire skills, give them entrepreneurship training, and enables them to make good in business and entrepreneurship should be a welcome process. Honorable Speaker, the challenge with Nyota, and Honorable Speaker, let's be very factual to the people of Kenya. This program was rolled out in May, and boys and girls registered through Safaricom. Because of corruption of the data, the process being repeated, the mistake is happening again. We are going through the same service provider without having an alternative, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I can tell you, for example, they came for training. The ones they found in Funyula, 70% of those who came for the training were not boys and girls from Funyula constituency. Because when they were asked to fill where they come from, anybody from anywhere would fill. Quite a number of those who were supposed to attend did not come because when they were called, some said they were in Mombasa, some in Lunga, some in Nairobi. So it defeats the process of identifying local boys and girls under the age of between 18 and 29. I urge again, whichever state department is given this responsibility, to rethink clearly, because whoever indicates on Safaricom that comes from a particular area might not necessarily come from a particular area. We therefore urge that the government relooks at the entire process of identifying these young people so that we can only benefit the locals at the local level. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
The Honorable Hillary, and I think this may be the last one because that's not the main business today. And order, honorable members, order. In fact, be reminded that it's me who propped out members to get note of Nyota. They were not. So please treat me with a lot of kindness. Proceed, Honorable Hillary.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. We are treating you with a lot of kindness. And this matter is a very serious matter of national importance. Mr. Speaker, since we got elected, the idea of our impatient youth have been always a cry for them to be given an opportunity to do business. Now, this idea, Mr. Speaker, has provided itself perfectly through this World Bank-sponsored project of Nyota. Mr. Speaker, the constituency where I come from has 4 wards. And in every ward, Mr. Speaker, 75 youth are supposed to get this support, business support of 50,000. Meaning that 300 youth will get a whooping 15 million, Mr. Speaker, to do startups or to expand existing businesses. So, Mr. Speaker, this is an online application that knows your identity card and the ward you come from and the constituency you come from, immediately you enter. The business of members of parliament, Mr. Speaker, is to mobilize our youth to register within that age bracket and to answer simple guiding questions. After star 254, they go to the Nyota option on number 4, Mr. Speaker, and it guides them on where to go. And this is a project that is estimated to last for 5 years at a cost of 20 billion, Mr. Speaker. All we are asking the provider and the World Bank, Mr. Speaker, is to now start using local consultants. The World Bank is being unfair to our local consultants, Mr. Speaker, in this project. It approves very fast foreign consultants and takes a lot of time, between 7 to 11 months, to onboard local consultants. And these are the local consultants who are supposed to be available in every part of the constituencies and every part of the country, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I ask the young people of Kipkelion West to register today and enroll, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, I'll give a few more, but make it very brief, just 1.5 minutes. Honorable Mayaka, be very brief.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for this opportunity so that I can also add my support to this Nyota program. Honorable Speaker, the first thing that I really want to encourage the youth of this country to do is the fact that you're using a USSD code, so it makes the process very easy. But also, there are 3 very important aspects of this program. There is the program for 70,000 youths who are going to be trained on job experience. There is the one for 100,000 youths who can get access to 50,000 for businesses. And then there is a program for 600,000 youth to be trained on how to use AGPO and the procurement process. And therefore, Honorable Speaker, I just want to encourage the young people of Nyamira County and the whole country at large to take advantage and access these services as soon as they can be able to, because in this time and age where there are no jobs available, we want to encourage the young people to also own their own businesses and become their own employers and to be able to have their own projects to work out there. So with those few remarks, I do support this program. I thank you.
Yes, Honorable Member. Yes, let him proceed.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I want to echo and also thank the President for coming up with this Nyota program, where at least the youth of this country will get an opportunity to do business. Honorable Speaker, this program covers youth from between 19 and 35 years. And I'm excited because yesterday we had a program for updates on the same Nyota program in Kapsabet yesterday, which was actually led by PS Belio in Nandi County. And this is an opportunity for our youth who are young entrepreneurs to at least follow these steps and ask for this funding. Most of the times, Honorable Speaker, the youth always say we don't have capital. But this is a chance. You start small as you grow your business. So I want to urge all the youth out there, especially in Mgwen constituency, where they had registered close to 1,700. Just register. You have an opportunity between now and 12th of this month. You register through that Nyota program, and you answer simple questions on the aptitude test. When you fall a beneficiary. Finally, I thank the ministry for coming and using the technology. Right now, in this digital space, we need to use technology, get those data correctly so that we can choose the correct people who will qualify for it. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Bissau, 1 minute.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. The intention for Nyota is very good, but the process, the implementation from the selection, as much as we are using the USSD, that is correct. But what is very critical is to ensure also that the grassroots leaders, the people's representatives, are involved. And here we are looking at the MCAs, we are looking at the Member of Parliament, so that yes, we can have it successfully implemented. And to sum it up all, yes, the government is doing what is correct by supporting our youth. And despite the good intention, we have to ensure that the entire cycle is well articulated and well maintained through the local leadership. And I also want to encourage the youths in Trans Nzoia to go ahead and register. I know the process took place 2 days ago with no involvement of the local leaders, but I think now that the issue had been opened up, we encourage them to ensure that they get out in good numbers and ensure that actually they apply so that they can get capital to do their businesses. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Basil, 1 minute.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want to join my friends to actually support this initiative. The Nyota program is one of the best programs, particularly when it comes to seed capital to the young people all over the country. Mr. Speaker, we need to align this Nyota program with the TVET so that those who are trained from TVET can actually use the money to apply the skills acquired in TVET institutions, Mr. Speaker. I also want to take this particular moment to encourage youth from Yata constituency to register. And considering that I have Wi-Fi hotspots in my constituency, this is a good moment for the youth in my constituency to use this particular opportunity to apply for Nyota money. Mr. Speaker, the only concern I have is actually the criteria used to select beneficiaries. We need to make it as explicit as possible and sensitize as many youths as possible so that they can benefit from this great initiative that is going to build the resilience of so many youth who are grappling with unemployment. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Engineer.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for this opportunity. Honorable Speaker, I'll be very brief on this matter. Honorable Speaker, I want to encourage the youth that this money or this fund can really help them. But one thing I want to encourage them is that it's good to be very honest, because you remember the ASLA fund issue, what really happened. Most of the people who applied, the young ones, they never refunded the money. Most of them went underground. And you see now, they will not have an opportunity to apply for this, to benefit from this Nyota fund, because you have seen it, it is clear that if you really applied for the ASLA fund and you never refunded, the same, it means you will not benefit from this fund. So, Honorable Speaker, I don't know how we are going to handle the matter so that at least even those who at least benefited from 500 bob, they can refund the same so that they can benefit from this fund, that is 50,000. Honorable Speaker, the same problem has also affected our WESO fund. Most of the groups which benefited from this fund especially around 8 years ago, before some of us came to the seat, most of them unwound the groups and they never refunded the same. So you find we have a lot of problem getting the revolving fund moving forward. So, Honorable Speaker, I would wish the young generation to be also very positive on these funds and make sure that they are also disciplined when it comes to funding, refunding
Very well,
the same.
Engineer,
Thank you.
you've made your point. Chair Housing? As we conclude, and finally, Mill is the last one to speak on
Thank
this, and we'll rest the matter.
Thank you,
We'll
Speaker.
move to the next order.
I would also wish to
I've
weigh in
given
on this.
sufficient time for members. Proceed.
Thank you, Speaker. I would also wish to weigh in on this particular matter, Speaker, knowing even very well that we have passed that age limit of youth. But we normally carry along our youths in our constituencies, Mr. Speaker. And sometimes the biggest problem that we have in our constituencies, in our villages, in our counties, is a question of unemployment, and especially unemployment to youths who never finished university, who never went to colleges, where the only opportunity they have is either to be recruited to the police, KDF, prisons, etc., Mr. Speaker, and you know how limited those opportunities are. This program, Mr. Speaker, comes in a long way to assist our youths who are unemployed, our youths who are within that average age, and those are the most vibrant youths, Mr. Speaker. And we have tried so many things in this country, Mr. Speaker. We have tried WESO, we have tried even the empowerment that is ongoing currently, and so many others. But I think this one is the most supreme. We have even tried the Hustler Fund, Mr. Speaker, where most of the people sometimes when they get that money, they throw away the SIM card and disappear with the money. But I think this one will go a long way because it is a good substantive amount of money that will help our youth to join business, to do business, and prosper in life, Mr. Speaker. I support in totality.
Lastly,
and we ask our
Honorable
youth
Millie.
to enroll.
Allow me to close it there. As a moderator, I think we have given it enough time.
Thank you,
Proceed,
Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity. Mr. Speaker, may I take this opportunity to add my voice in appreciating that program as a very good program. Mr. Speaker, I'd actually initiated a similar program in my constituency called My Time, which is called the Mbita Youth Training, Innovation, Mentorship, and Entrepreneurship Program. The only difference is Nyota has more money than I do have. And so it will actually go a long way in achieving the objectives that I had for my youth. Mr. Speaker, one of the things I like about it is the component of training of young people and acknowledging the fact, Mr. Speaker, that we have very many young people who have finished their high school, and some even have gone up to university, and do not have jobs. So for a lot of the young people, in the past we have relied on formal employment, but we must learn that now, the way the economy is going, that we'll be relying a lot more on self-employment by the youth. I think one of the things that this program needs to really focus on very strongly is the issue of monitoring, so that there is, so that the youth can get back, not only get back because again it's a grant, but that the money is not wasted. 50,000 may sound very little to some of us, but to a young person, 50,000 is a lot of money. And if it is not used very well, my deputy here is telling me there will be, some of them will use it on Jaba. And I wrote yesterday that there is a song in the Luo community, Jatum Chamo Jaba Nendo. The musician swallows Jaba and sleeps. There's a musician who is crying, the wife has left him, and the only thing he can take is Jaba. Mr. Speaker, if we don't train our youth so that they know that this is their future, then it might go the same way that the other funds have gone. How I wish that the other funds could be consolidated, other initiatives could be consolidated into this, especially the ones that affect the youth. And how I wish too that would give priority to young women, because there's a presumption that when you say youth, that youth is male. We don't usually think that there are youth that are also women. But also I wish that we could do something similar again for women, so that it's not only loans, but that we also enhance the grant for our women, because a lot of times people struggle between whether you should be giving
you know, if you have money for business and you have a child who is at home who is not able to go to school, do you pay the school fees or do you do business? But otherwise, this is a really good initiative, and I thank Honorable Alice, who is also my classmate in Daystar University. So we've become young at heart again. We are doing very well, doing our PhD in leadership and governance, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, and I do support this initiative.
We go back to statements, and the last one is from the Honorable Wader.
Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the provision of Standing Order 43.1, I rise to make a general statement on a perceived imbalance in the treatment of Lamu East constituency, which for far long has been left out of the national picture. Lamu East remains relegated to the margins, denied visibility, opportunities, and even the basic presence of State Department, while the neighboring Lamu West continue to receive preferential share of official visit, parliamentary delegation, and government services. Honorable Speaker, this sustained neglect is not just a matter of oversight. It is a point at a deeper failure to uphold the principle of equity enshrined in our Constitution. Of a greater concern is that even committee of this House time and again preferred to undertake its activity in Lamu West, leaving out Lamu East. In addition, all state departments and government offices are stationed in Lamu West, excluding residents of Lamu East from direct access to any government services and development opportunities. The concentration of this presence and activity in one part of the county has created a sense of exclusion and unequal treatment among the people of Lamu East. It is my view that the resulting imbalance between Lamu East and Lamu West runs contrary to the constitutional obligation of fairness and equitable development across all regions. Honorable Speaker, as a House, we have a duty to ensure that the constituencies represented in this House should not feel sidelined. I also urge the Executive, the Judiciary, Independent Commission, and the State Corporate to give equal attention to Lamu East in their visit, program, and service delivery. I further implore that Parliament lead this House itself to set the pace by ensuring its committees, delegation, deliberately extend their work to Lamu East, reaffirming the principle of inclusion and national cohesion. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, naomba kuongezea kitu kidogo.
Dakika moja tu.
Asante. Honorable Bwana Speaker, sababu wanatoa wengi wakija Lamu County wanakwenda Lamu Magharibi, wanasema ni ghali usafiri, lakini bado kuna watu wanaishi huko. Komiti nyingi zikija wanasema ni ngumu kwenda kule na wanaogopa bahari. Sasa ilikuwa naomba hii bunge ichukue hilo jukumu, wakiwa wanakuja kule, kama ni public participation au kama ni chochote kinachofanyika Lamu, wapewe ndege, helikopta, waende kule. Isikuwe sababu kwamba watu wangu hawafikiwi kwa sababu ya pengine usafiri. Pia wale wakubwa wa zile kata ndogo za Lamu Mashariki, wote kama kashia, mhasibu na wengine wote hawakai eneo bunge langu, wanakaa la Magharibi mpaka sasa. Nilikuwa naomba iwe kuanza leo, wale wote ambao anafaa kufanya kazi Lamu Mashariki na anafanya Lamu Magharibi watoke, tuwapatie mwezi mmoja. Kama hawawezi kwenda kukaa Lamu Mashariki na watu wao, watoke kwa ofisi, watoto wetu waandikwe makazi. isiyo wamekaa Lamu Mashariki na kwangu watu wanaumia. Mpaka sasa Bwana Spika, mtu kwangu kupata stakabadhi za kuzaliwa inamchukua shilingi 8,000 kutoka Kiunga, inamchukua shilingi 3,000 kutoka Kizingitini, aje Lamu Magharibi kuja kutukua tu hiyo birth certificate. Inaniuma sana Bwana Spika. Hata wewe ni mwalimu, birth certificate unajua zina muaffect vipi mwanafunzi. Hii mambo ya names hawapati kuwekwa.
Tafadhali uwe mfupi, sababu mwenyewe uliandika statement yako na hata ukaandika mambo yote. Tafadhali malizia.
Sasa nataka watu wajue hivi hapa, nataka hata wewe ujue kwamba names kama haandikwi hapati pesa ya capitation, hapati vitabu. Sasa ukikosa hizo vitu vote, kisha mnafanya mtihani mmoja na wanafunzi wote Kenya. Na ukifanya mtihani mmoja na wanafunzi wote Kenya, ndio zile results zinakuja ma D- na D na E. Hizo zinachangia insecurity, ukosefu wa usalama. Asante.
Honorable member, you had a chance to put all that in the statement, and this house would have still appreciated the entire speak. Thank you. Let's move to the next order, which is the responses to statements. And the first one we begin with is a response to the Honorable Mark Mwenje, Embakasi West, Honorable Ali Wario, MP Gassen, and Honorable Rahim Dawood, MP North Imenti, by the Chair, Defense, Intelligence and Foreign Relations, on inclusion of various sub-counties in the upcoming Kenya Defense Forces recruitment exercise. Is the Chair in the House? Proceed.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, the Honorable Member for Garten, Embakasi West and North Imenti constituencies, Honorable Ali Wario, Honorable Mark Mwenje and Honorable Rahim Dawood, pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 44 2C, requested statements from the Cabinet Secretary for Defense concerning the upcoming Kenya Defense Forces recruitment. The members specifically sought clarification on the following. Number one, inclusion of candidates from Tarasa and Kokane sub-counties in the upcoming Kenya Defense Forces recruitment program. Number two is the criteria used by the Kenya Defense Forces in designating recruitment centers in Nairobi City. And the last one, which is the third one, is inclusion of Imenti East sub-county in the upcoming Kenya Defense Forces recruitment. Honorable Speaker, the committee engaged the Ministry of Defense on the above concerns raised by honorable members, and I therefore wish to respond to these issues as follows. The Kenya Defense Forces carries a constitutional mandate of safeguarding the sovereignty and territorial integrity of the Republic. To sustain this mandate, KDF regularly replenishes its ranks to offset attrition, expand units, and integrate specialized capabilities. Recruitment follows the Constitution of Kenya 2010, which requires national security organs to reflect the nation's diversity and inclusivity, offering young citizens an opportunity to serve with discipline, patriotism, and pride. The upcoming nationwide recruitment exercise is scheduled to commence on 13th of October 2025, covering all 412 sub-counties, as provided by the Ministry of Interior and National Administration over a 2-week period. To uphold public trust, KDF has launched an online recruitment management system to ensure transparency, fairness, and merit-based selection. Honorable Speaker, it's important for members to note that, and this has been an attribute of conmen, that no calling letters will be issued manually. People have been paying money, to crooks out there, and then they provide letters that look very much like those ones that are issued by the KDF, only to get to the recruiting, to the training center, and they are turned away, giving our military a very bad name. Yet, those are letters that are manufactured by crooks. They take money from innocent Kenyans who are seeking recruitment, and then they are turned away during recruitment. So that exercise will not happen this time around because biometrics will be taken, like I stated, and no calling letters will be issued manually. Biometrics and electronic data will be captured in the centers preventing post-exercise manipulation. Just to break it down for members to understand is those who will have been recruited in the centers, their data will be captured and a message will be sent to them on when to report, and they will report without any letters. So the conmen who are fond of issuing letters during recruitment will definitely not have a field day this time around. Honorable Speaker, on inclusion of Tarasa and Kokane sub-counties, this is for Honorable Ali Wario. As of August 2025, the recognized administrative units of Tana River County are Tana River, Galle, I don't know if I will read this properly, but let me try, Galle Yetu, but it's pronounced differently. Tana North, spelled differently rather, Bangale and Tana Delta. Although Tarasa is not listed as a county, it is recognized as one of the 3 divisions within the Tana Delta and duly considered. Honorable Wario, I hope you captured that. Candidates from Tarasa and Kokane will not be disadvantaged. They will be considered based on their division of domicile. Honorable Speaker, on Honorable Mwenje, on criteria used designated recruitment centers in Nairobi County. Just to mention, Honorable Speaker, this matter is in court. Today, both parties appear in court. Tomorrow, they will also appear in court, and a ruling will be made in the course of the week. So I will not delve much into this matter, but let me just raise this issue to Honorable Mwenje, that KDF selects centers based on accessibility, fairness, and efficiency. In Nairobi County, Nyayo Stadium, Moi International Sports Center, Kasarani, and Jamhuri grounds are designated due to, number 1, central location and ease of access. Number 2, spacious facilities, enabling efficient accommodation and transport connectivity. And number 3, proven record in hosting past successful recruitment exercises. The choice of these centers considers logistics, expected turnout, and demographic equity guided by 2019 Kenya consensus data from Kenya National Bureau of Standards. Just for the comfort also of Honorable Mwenje and members, is that the KDF Act only gives recruiting centers as county headquarters. But because they want to be as fair as possible, that is why they moved it further to sub-counties. But the Act provides that it should be done in the county's headquarters. Honorable Speaker, on inclusion of Menti East sub-county, this is for Honorable Rahim Dawood. As of August 2025, Meru County administrative units include Meru Central, Igembe South, Igembe Central, Igembe North, Tigania East, Tigania West, Tigania Central, Buri East, Buri West, and Imenti North. Candidates from Imenti East will not be disadvantaged. They will be considered from their division of domicile. Honorable Speaker, in conclusion, the Ministry assures the people of Kenya that no location will be disadvantaged as all divisions are represented based on population and demographics. The Ministry of Interior continues to update gazetted administrative units, which informs KDF planning for subsequent recruitment drives. The 2025 KDF recruitment drive is a strategic investment in Kenya's future unity and security, conducted transparently and inclusively. It reaffirms KDF's commitment to safeguarding sovereignty and nurturing patriotic generation ready to serve. Honorable Speaker, as I conclude, allow me to add this point. I will really prevail on members, particularly those who have concern, that sometimes it is quicker and easy if we are able to engage as members. I'm very available because of purposely for this exercise that is going to take a month. Some of the issues that are being raised can quickly be addressed by a phone call that I can make to the ministry, and we address it as quick as possible. When we have these exchanges, sometimes it takes time because of the bureaucracy. By the time it gets to the ministry and gets back, gets a response that we'll have gotten here, Honorable Speaker. So I want to indulge members that if it is possible, I will prefer that we handle this thing off the plenary and make sure that all the questions that you raised, I am able to, or any member of my committee is able to address as quick as possible. Most of these cases that appear and are coming up now are almost similar in nature. It's either administrative unit that has been forgotten or some centers that have been misspelled or, the normal cases that we have and people feeling disadvantaged. I really want to prevail on members that I am available. The Ministry of Defense is available to respond to all the questions that you might have. And for better serving the members, because this is an extremely contentious issue, I'm saying I'll be availing myself for the entire month for the questions that you have. Let us sit down, let's build consensus so that we can have a transparent process as possible. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, and I submit.
Very well. Is the Honorable Mwenji in the House? And if you are the three of you, then each Honorable just one bite. Beginning with Honorable Mwenji.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, let me start by expressing my utmost disappointment in the response that I've received. Honorable Speaker, it's true that this matter has gone to court, and all 19 members of Parliament from Nairobi are the petitioners. Honorable Speaker, this came as a result of us engaging. I want to start from where the Honorable Nelson Koech ended. We wrote a letter, and I'm glad he's here today, Honorable Koech. We've not been able to find you for quite some time. We wrote a letter. 19 members of Parliament. The first challenge we faced is that you cannot deliver a letter at Ulinzi House, at DOD, because you are not even granted access to get in there. We managed to get in there, served a letter, and requested for a response within 7 days. 8 days later, there was no response from the Cabinet Secretary. Members of Parliament from Nairobi held a press conference. That is when DOD felt they would now want to engage us. Now let us go into the response that is given us. He said there are 412 sub-counties. They got the list, so they know the total number of sub-counties. In Nairobi alone, we have a population of 5.5 million. Honorable Speaker, just for the record, we have 17 constituencies in Nairobi and 18 sub-counties. The Kasarani constituency, which is one of the largest, has 2 sub-counties. So, Honorable Speaker, in his response from the Cabinet Secretary, is that out of 17 constituencies, 18 sub-counties, there'll only be 3 recruitment centers. While in the other 273 constituencies, we have 290 constituencies, Honorable Speaker. 273, remove the 17 from Nairobi. 273, there will be recruitment in the 273 constituencies. But when you come to Nairobi, that is where you draw the line. That's where you say, no, those people from Embakasi West, Embakasi East, Makadara, can you all pile up into Nyayo Stadium, and then we are going to make you line up there and recruit. Let me remind him of the numbers in Nairobi. We have 5.5 million people in Nairobi. Which other county can boast of such numbers? When it comes to even voters, we have over 3 million votes. Who else has those kind of numbers? So how can he explain to us that the DOD finds it fit in Nairobi because I don't have a stadium in Embakasi West, there's no stadium in Embakasi East, there's no stadium in Kibra. Honorable Speaker, when it comes to police recruitment, they are doing it in the 17 sub-counties in Nairobi. They've combined only one, the one in Kasarani, but they're doing it here. When it came to prison constables, they recruited in the 17. Now, Honorable Speaker, when he says we don't have facilities in Nairobi, is the Cabinet Secretary trying to tell me that in the other 273 constituencies, and let me be clear that it's not 273 venues, because when you go to Kiambu, there are 12 constituencies, but recruitment areas are about 16. Is he saying that in all these areas, and I apologize, I don't refer to him, it's just because he's the one who's read, but it's from the Cabinet Secretary. Is she saying that there are stadiums in all the other constituencies? Is that what you're saying? Because we have the fields like everyone else. We know where you're going to recruit in Githongori, or Kiambu, or Thika, or Manya. We know it's enough open field which will be marked. People will be running around. What is this special thing that is out there that we as Nairobi do not have, Honorable Speaker? Now, he has said the act. She has said, I apologize. The Cabinet Secretary said that the act provides for recruitment at sub-counties, at county level. Then why don't you change the advert, make it fair for all of us? Recruit at county, only 47 centers. Let's see if that will be approved. Because why would you say the act says this, so you implement that here in Nairobi, but when you go to other areas, you decide to do something else? So, Honorable Speaker,
great.
I could go into so many things, but one of the reasons why we are against it, this is a bad precedent. The police have recruited at sub-county. When it comes to teachers, they've been recruited at sub-county. When it comes to even NGC, CARA projects, they are done even at sub-county. We even have our own DCCs anyway. If the Cabinet Secretary is allowed to do this, it's only a matter of time before all the gains we have gained as Nairobi start being eroded. That is why, Honorable Speaker, I'll not go into the details because I have our legal arguments, but because the matter is sub judice, I'll not pursue it further. But I will tell them, and I want to make this very clear, Honorable Speaker. This is discrimination against Nairobi.
Very well.
Just a second, Honorable Speaker. And the 3.5 million voters we have in Nairobi, and we will hit 4 million, we will remind them that this is what you're doing to us. We are hoping that the courts will give us orders, but if we don't get, we will remind them. And for CS Tuya, we know she hates Nairobi, and we're going to keep that in mind. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Order, Honorable Mwenje. If you have to discuss anyone, then you have to bring a substantive motion. Okay. Do we have the Honorable, also interested in this matter, Honorable Ali Wario? Be brief, because you are three of you.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I thank the Chair for the response, but not satisfactory. Honorable Speaker, Garseni constituency is 16,000 square kilometers. Initially, before this administration came in, we had only one sub-county called Tana Delta. Honorable Speaker, the CS, Honorable Tuya, was once in this house, and she was in Speaker's panel. She actually led many sessions in this parliament. Honorable Speaker, first of all, before this statement, we wrote her letters. In fact, even I sent her through WhatsApp. Honorable Speaker, and my letter was received at the DOD headquarters. There was no response on that letter. There was no response on the WhatsApp letter I sent her, and she was in this house, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, Garseni constituency, the tail end of Boni Forest is in Garseni constituency. We suffered a lot under Al-Shabaab. Honorable Speaker, when you go from Malindi to Garsen, you encounter a KDF roadblock because of its security. Honorable Speaker, it is very unfortunate. We have one government under one flag. They know the sub-counties of this country gazetted by this government of the Republic of Kenya and the leadership of William Samoei Ruto, the president. But it is unfortunate when the KDF say they don't have the gazetted sub-counties. One of my sub-county called Tarasa, there is a DCC serving there. It is fully operational. Honorable Speaker, it is unfortunate that Garseni constituency, in fact, Kokane sub-county, Honorable Speaker, it is 11,000 square kilometers. More than half of Garseni constituency. Those people are being marginalized. From recruitment center, the one they have gazetted, they are 176 kilometers from Garseni town. The place called Kone. How can a youth travel from that end to Garsen. That is a very big shame, Honorable Speaker. So I urge, it is never too late. I appreciate the Kenya Police because they have put Kokane Sub-County and Tarasa Sub-County in the recruitment list. The prisons did the same. And we are suffering the brunt of Al-Shabaab, Honorable Speaker. One of my police stations in my constituency called Gamba, many police officers killed by Al-Shabaab because of back to the DOD and the Cabinet Secretary to give justice to the youth of Garseni constituency.
Very well.
Kokane Sub-County and Tarasa Sub-County to be included.
Thank you.
No, there is no way that you can tell the people they will serve through the divisions. Kokane, there was no division in Kokane. But I thank His Excellency the President. He gave sub-counties because that place is very vast. And people get injustice. There is no single person in serving in the Kenya Defense Forces or police from Kokane Sub-County. So, Honorable Speaker, I urge the Chair, this answer, it is very shallow, Chair. I mean, Mr. Speaker, thank you very much.
Very well, you've made your point. And finally, the Honorable Dawood.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to say the chair of the committee is my good friend. We have served with him. But I think this statement is not good enough. He has just mentioned that he's always available. I have tried to get him for the last 2 weeks. I could not get him. So I don't know where he was, but I would not want to make a guess. Mr. Speaker, like what Honorable Mwenje has said, I wrote a letter. I took it to Lindsay House, but I was not allowed inside because it's a military installation, so it was very difficult. I talked to PS. It asked me to send it by WhatsApp to him and the CS. Even CS, I spoke to her. And Mr. Speaker, my sub-county was gazetted in 2022, but they insisted that it has to be operationalized, which was done on the 9th of September. I took the same letter to the National Police Service Commission, and I think the recruitment was only 3 days away, and National Police Service Commission did an addendum in the newspapers, and they put Imenti East Recruitment Center. So I put it to Chairman Honorable Koech. If the National Police Service could do it within 3 days, they did an addendum. Why can the Kenya Defense Forces not do the same? Is it not one government? I wonder, because if it is the same government, KDF should follow in the footsteps of Kenya Police Service, National Police Service Commission, and do an addendum. If in the unlikely event they do not do it, can the chairman then tell us that for the Imenti East sub-county, we can get a double allocation? If my people from Imenti East go to Imenti North, can we get a double allocation for the recruitment, if that would be possible? But I would prefer if an addendum is done, and I think the chair is capable. He's our next minister maybe, and the president. So I believe he can do it. Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Very well. This is a question that has been whipped by many members when the statement was raised. I also know it's a matter that is in court. But let me give the chair just the right of reply. Be very brief. We shall not go beyond that.
I will
because of the status in which we are. But then I would really want to ask the chair that when you hear what the members are saying, and you are the chair of the committee, and on behalf of Kenyans, if somebody will travel 176 kilometers, you can look in my eyes, then there's a serious point to this. But let's hear your reply. You need to actually make it easy for the Kenyan youth. I am also aware that even my own constituency does not have a center. It's called Muhaya. So we really need fairness. Proceed.
Precisely, Honorable Speaker. First, allow me to apologize for the members who have tried to find me for the last 2 weeks, as they said, and they have not. My apology, I was out in the US for the United Nations General Assembly, and I just came back last weekend, and then of course I've been in the constituency also just to catch up with what I was not able to do during that period. My apologies for that. Honorable Mwenje, I truly feel your frustration. Your colleague and the minister and the PS are our former colleagues. In fact, they were sitting in both of them were in the speaker's panel. When we raise these issues, because we want fairness for our people and the people that we represent. And I understand. In your wisdom, as members of parliament from Nairobi, you've decided that a fair arbiter will be the court, which is perfectly okay. I would want to allow that process to continue because the judgment, I'm told, will be made before the end of the week. Whatever way the decision of the court will go, I just want to promise you that this issue will be addressed. In fact, I've been organizing to speak to them on how then the Embakasi East, for instance, and all the other constituencies in Nairobi, how will you know that these you've picked from Langata? And they've said that how they will be recruiting in the recruiting centers, there will be designated points and recruitment points for Langata, for Embakasi East, Embakasi West, and these Dagoretti and these other constituencies. So that if you've been in the queue for Langata, there is no way you will end up in a queue of Embakasi East. So that all the sub-counties then are picked. And beyond that, Honorable Mwenje, we all come from a place. You'll find that my children also come from Belgut constituency. So we also have a constituency where we come from, even before we end up in Nairobi. And I think it is the thinking also that sometimes some of those who will have been recruited in Nairobi will be recruited in their original home. Nonetheless, I feel your frustration and those of the other colleagues, and I want to promise you that this matter will be addressed adequately. Honorable Wario, and on an issue of being turned away, Honorable Mwenje, of course, when you go to the military headquarters, you'll be turned away because that is a protected area. Even though you're a member of parliament, there is a procedure on how to get there. And that is why I was telling you it's easy. The Constitution has provided that the chairman become a link between parliament and executive, and that is my role now to take on your behalf. And I promise you that I will listen to you, and I will listen to the people that you represent, and I will make it happen, that you are heard fairly. On Honorable Wario, I also understand, like the Speaker said, I mean, if you're talking about 70 kilometers to go
176 kilometers.
176? Yeah, your constituency is vast. It's an issue, again, that I want to promise. In fact, Honorable Speaker, if I will request, when I finish with this statement, can I have the three members sit with me outside and I can make calls now and see
Very
what
good.
can be
So
addressed.
make it brief, and I will be allowing that.
Is that fair enough? And then, Honorable Dawood, I think the best thing is when we step out, let me understand the issue, let me make a call and see if there are changes that we can make at this point, instead of back and forth with questions. Honorable Speaker, I submit.
Very well, honorable members. I will not really open it up because of what I had earlier explained. Let's move to the next reply to a statement. And this one is a reply to the Honorable Samuel Gachombe. He's in the House. And it's about to complete works on Subukia Road number D366 by the chairperson of the Transport and Infrastructure Committee. Is Honorable Gachombe in the House? In his absence, then I will advise that that report be submitted. Where's the chair? Transport? Or proceed? Just bring the report to the table and it will be handed over to him. And then next reply is a reply for the Honorable Wanjiku Muhia, MP Kipiripiri. And it's on non-completion of the machinery road in Kipiripiri constituency. Again, it's by the Chair, Transport and Infrastructure. Chair, Road and Infrastructure, keep working.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, the member for Kipipiri, the Honorable Wanjiku Muhia MP, requested statement regarding the non-completion of access sections on the Giu Machinery Road in Kipipiri constituency. Honorable Speaker, the Honorable Wanjiku Muhia in the request sought the following. One, a report on the scope of works for the construction of Giu Machinery Road in Kipipiri constituency, including a confirmation of the inclusion of the adjoining access road to Roreshua Secondary School, NCPB Depot, the Roreshua Chief's Office, Kahiga Center, and the surrounding constituencies. Two, the justification for the deviation from the original scope of works and the exclusion of these access roads despite area commitments to incorporate them in the scope of works. And three, a concrete plan and timelines by the ministry to ensure that the unconstructed access roads originally committed to be done are fully constructed. And four, steps being taken by the ministry to ensure that all constituencies receive equal treatment in infrastructure development. Honorable Speaker, the committee received a response for the Ministry of Roads and Transport on 30th September this year, which I now wish to make. Regarding the report on the scope of works for construction of the Giu Machinery Road in Kipipiri constituency, including the confirmation of the inclusion of the adjoining access road to Roreshua Secondary School, NCPB Depot, Roreshua Chief's Office, Kahiga Center, and surrounding constituencies, the ministry submitted that the said road involved upgrading 23 kilometers of road to bitumen standards, linking Nakuru and Nyandarua counties through Giu and Kipipiri. The works included construction of 6.5 meter carriageway with the 1.5 meter shoulders, improvement of major junctions, provision of parking, levee and drainage at Langa town, construction of access and minor junctions, a bridge over Malewa River, a box culvert across Ritro Giu River, and other drainage structures. The project was jointly funded by BADEA, that is 66.85%, and the Government of Kenya, that is 33.15%, with its scope agreed upon through consultations. Access roads were not part of this project, and including them would have breached the contract and financing agreement. On the justification for the deviation from the original scope of works and the exclusion of these access roads, despite area commitments to incorporate them in the scope of works, the ministry clarified that the Giu Machinery Road was designed and constructed within its original scope, and as such are not aware of the alleged diversion. Furthermore, the affected and constructed access roads fall under the jurisdiction of the county government of Nyandarua. However, the Kipipiri Constituency Roads Committee may still prioritize the roads for maintenance within the annual RMLF provisions, having obtained consent from the county government. Additionally, the ministry stated that they are committed to ensuring fairness and equity in the prioritization of road infrastructure development in line with the government's policy of ensuring equitable sharing of national resources. Honorable Speaker, I submit.
Yes, the Honorable Member for Kipipiri.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and I thank the Chair for Committee on Transport for responding in time, as he had promised 2 to 3 weeks. But Honorable Speaker, as per my questions, it's laughable that the ministry can say that the access roads were not part of the design, because in my statement I did indicate that the ministry and all road officers came to my constituency, engaged the community, and they informed them that they would be doing access roads to the National Cereal and Produce Board. They would be making access road to Lereshwa Secondary School. And just for clarification to the chair, because the Kipipirians are watching, it is Lereshwa Secondary School, which is on a hilly place. And they also did, in fact, they were seen by the community marking the Kahiga Center and the chief's office. So the community sat down with the road officers. They were informed that we'll be doing this road and the following will be given priority during the completion of the road. And why I had indicated that if the ministry could confirm fairness in all roads in the country is because even personally I have a road that is given access to a certain school in another corner in my constituency. So the ministry cannot say the access were not part of the design. Could they say that, then the same ministry should come back to Kipipiri, sit with the community, apologize for having misled the community, and inform the community that the access roads to the said schools were not part of the design. Why do I say this, Honorable Speaker? As a politician and the representative of the people, I carry the political burden, and the community think that I'm not able to push their issues even when the government come and sit down and promise them. And these are just too many of the very many promises that the current government keep on promising the community. So if the money is not there, Chair, I would suggest either you rule or in your wisdom you guide the House so that it is on record how will be the Kipipirians be informed that the said designs were not in the budget because the community sat, the chief, Mr. Mwangi Wanyaga, who is currently retired, was chairing that meeting, and they sat down and they were promised that these access roads were to be in place. Otherwise, I remain with the burden, Honorable Speaker, to continue explaining why the ratio is not done, why this one is not done. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Chair. Before
Honorable
the chair,
Speaker,
let me hear Oundo and then you speak on this. Oundo, just 1 minute.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I stand to sympathize with my colleague because when designs are made, they must accommodate every aspect of the road. And the Honorable Speaker, me and you, probably those of us who are a little older, you remember the story of Kipipiri, where electricity poles were dropped and taken away immediately after the by-election. I hope they're not punishing the people of Kipipiri because of my good friend here, Ajay Humuya. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I think Honorable Wanjiko Mohia has done very well in lobbying for her people to get this project. But the only mistake she's made in her statement is to allege that the ministry misled the people of Kipipiri. I I think that's not fair to the ministry. There's no way a government officer will wake up, prepare to go to a region and make unnecessary promises. So unless she provides to this House proof that the ministry misled her constituents, I think she needs to apologize and withdraw that statement. But
then what are you going to do? Let's leave sideshows and the Honorable...
It's not a sideshow, Honorable Speaker.
No. Allow me to speak to this. Yes. Allow me to speak to this because, you know, at the end of the day, we want service to the people. So apologies notwithstanding, what are you going to do about the said matter as the chair? That's all I'm waiting for. Proceed. I give you another
apology notwithstanding, Honorable Speaker, I have a lot of interest in Nyandarua County, and I do work very well with the members of parliament from this county. I also know that there are many other senior government officials from Nyandarua County who also work closely with the members of parliament. And we are going to work with Honorable Wanjikomo here to ensure that the people of Kipipiri are well served by the government. But we also want to urge her to also support the government of the day. And when she is out there, say good things about the government that you want to support. It's not bad to criticize the government or to critique the government, but critique objectively and fairly. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Yeah, at least I've heard something. You and the Honorable Moi here, you will have a sitting with the chair to see how the people of your constituents can be served. But finally, let's hear from you. Just 1 minute.
Very fine one. Honorable Speaker, I cannot withdraw, I can't apologize because even you, Honorable Speaker, you know when the roads are to be built, there is always public participation. And the public participation is between the community and the ministry. Be they the donors, be they the road officers, they are representatives of the ministry. And during those public participation is when the community say, yes, we agree to remove this. And it is that meeting, that sitting, which was chaired by our chief, a chief that I schooled with, that it was agreed as such. And Honorable Speaker, the community was even asking, if worst came to the worst, they could have just done for them Rireshwa Secondary, which is in such a hilly place, such that even taking food to the school, the food has to be carried by hands. Even the teachers, maybe to walk to the schools, if maybe one is pregnant or like such, is really a sad situation. But I appreciate that we shall do speak with the chair. But the chair, I am always supporting the good deeds of the government, and as a Kipipirian with the history of poles that were put, and we were told that we would get electricity, and we never got electricity. I apologize because then Kipipirians cheated Moi that they would vote. From then they got saved. Now they are not cheating Ruto that they will not vote for him. Indeed, they are telling him they will not vote for him. But his services, because we are paying taxes, is mandatory to every constituency.
Mind your language. Cheating is unparliamentary. Honorable Moya. Now, I don't want to overextend it. What's your point of order? That is Jaffo, Honorable. What is it? Japheth, Honorable Japheth. This Jaffo is just a slang, I think. Japheth.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Is it in order for Honorable Muhia to put the name of the President in matters that is not of concern? Because anything to do with roads, the budget is done in this House, and it is implemented by Kera, Kura, and Kena. So is it in order to put the name of the President where it does not concern? Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Leader, what is it?
Honorable Speaker, you know, we've been here long enough to understand MPs who will come back and those who will not. Honorable Muia cannot run away from failure by invoking the name of the president and say that the president will not be voted. Actually, it's bad manners to discuss the president here without a substantive motion. It's bad manners. And therefore, Honorable Muia, I want to tell you, you have failed the people of Kipipiri. You don't attend parliament, you don't attend committee, you don't do anything, you don't follow up matters of Kipipiri in this house. Honorable Speaker, you have no business, she has no business to try to offload her failures by saying the president has not done this and the people will not vote for him. I want to tell you, the people of Kipipiri will not vote for you. They will vote for the president, but not you, because we have seen here. I've been in this parliament long enough to know who will come back and who will not. And one of those that will not come back is the Honorable Muia, and I want to ask you, go to the...
Order, leader. No. Take your seat. You know, leader, you are not a magician and you are not God. In fact, the only person who used to attempt to do what you are doing also went away. And you know very well. So without much ado, I think I was dealing with a statement. It was dealt with very well by the chair. Take your seat, order. And therefore, I think I'll want to move on. Let me call for the next order. Let's get to business.
Order number 11, motion. Consideration of the 7th report on examination of financial statements of selected state corporations.
Very well. Chairperson, Public Investment Committee on Social Services, Administration and Agriculture is in the House. Proceed, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, allow me to appreciate you for allowing me to move this motion, and I do so. That this House, Honorable Speaker, adopts the 7th report of the Public Investments Committee on Social Services, Administration and Agriculture on its examination of financial statements for the following state corporations laid on the table of the House on Wednesday, 13th August 2025. 1. National Syndemic Disease Control Council, formerly National AIDS Control Council. National Social Security Fund for financial years 2021-22 to 23-24. National Cancer Institute of Kenya for financial year 2019-2020 to 2023-2024. And lastly, the Child Welfare Society of Kenya for financial years 2015-2016 to 2018-2019. Honorable Speaker, on the onset, allow me to state that we relied on various instruments to come up with this report, a report that details the 4 agencies as outlined, Honorable Speaker. In this matter, Honorable Speaker, we did rely on the Public Finance Management Act of 2012, the Public Audit Act 2015, the State Corporations Act of 1986, the Public Procurement and Asset Disposal Act of 2015, the National Assembly Standing Orders, and the National Assembly Powers and Privileges Act of 2017. Honorable Speaker, we did look at a few issues, and I want to separate it into 2, general issues and specific issues, Honorable Speaker. General issues are issues which cut across the 4 agencies, Honorable Speaker, during deliberation, which we summarize as follows, Honorable Speaker. The first issue that cuts across the 4 agencies is lack of possession and ownership documents on land and buildings. Honorable Speaker, we do single out 2 agencies for this purpose of presentation. The Child Welfare Society of Kenya, who has 19 parcels of land, Honorable Speaker, undetermined value, and do not have title deeds. Honorable Speaker, the National Social Security Fund had one of its land title deeds revoked through the Kenya Gazette initially issued to a private developer by the National Lands revoked by the National Lands Commission and declared the parcel to have been reserved for public purposes. Honorable Speaker, generally, what do we say about these issues? In our recommendation, Honorable Speaker, we do say that within 3 months upon adoption of this report, the accounting officers for the respective state corporations should liaise with the principal secretaries for the respective state departments in the line ministries and the National Land Commission to fast track the process of acquiring title deeds, to resolve ownership disputes and ensure legal actions are taken against private individuals who have illegally acquired the public land. Honorable Speaker, the other issue that cuts across the 4 agencies is delay in availing documents to the Auditor General. Honorable Speaker, the committee observed that some of the accounting officers do not avail complete and reconciled financial and accounting records. Honorable Speaker, there is one thing to avail the documents, but there's the other one that the documents are reconciling because the issues were raised by the Auditor General during the audit process. Honorable Speaker, Article 226 of the Constitution of Kenya and Section 68(2) of the PFM Act 2012 both requires that the financial and accounting records are presented within 3 months after the close of the financial year. Section 62, particularly, Honorable Speaker, of the Public Audit Act 2015 obligates the accounting officers to provide required documents for audit, failure to which they be sanctioned. Honorable Speaker, National Cancer Institute of Kenya, in which financial statements for the year ended 30 June 2021 were submitted to the Auditor General on 16th November 2021 and 1.5 months after the statutory deadline of 30th September 2021. That is a case in time in which, Honorable Speaker, an agency decides to shoot the timelines. And Honorable Speaker, yourself being a good lawyer, you understand the ruling and the determination of timelines as discussed and dispensed of by the Supreme Court. This was contrary to Section 47(1) of the Public Audit Act 2015, which states that the financial statements required under the Constitution of the Public Finance Management Act 2012 and any other legislation shall be submitted to the Auditor General within 3 months after the end of the fiscal year to which the accounts relate to. Honorable Speaker, the general recommendation of the committee says is that the accounting officer who fails to submit or provide required information for audit pursuant to Section 62, Part 1 of the Public Audit Act, Cap 412B, should be prosecuted for the offense pursuant to Section 62(2) of the Public Audit Act, Cap 412B. Honorable Speaker, the other issue that cuts across, which we witnessed and observed, was delayed accountability of interest. Honorable Speaker, Section 71 of the Public Finance Management Act, particularly Cap 412B, and the attendant regulations require that organizations surrender interest within 7 days upon conclusion of the assignment for which the said interest was issued. Such cases were noted in the National Syndemic Disease Control Council, in which the council made advances to staff amounting to 2,258,770 between 2000 and 2019. These advances were issued as interest for former employees who have since left the organization, and the recoverability appears doubtful. Honorable Speaker, National Social Security Fund had in their books unsurrendered interest amounting to 3,819,564 as at 30 June 2024, contrary to Regulation 93, Part 5 of the PFM National Government Regulations 2015. Our recommendation, Honorable Speaker, to that effect is that within 6 months of adoption of this report, the accounting officers will have failed to take necessary steps to ensure that all outstanding interests within their jurisdictions are recovered from the due date should be surcharged the full amount due. Because, Honorable Speaker, the accounting officers are the ones who are assigned to recover the money. So if they demonstrate laissez-faire attitude, Honorable Speaker, towards that, they are behaving in a lazy manner, then it is them to be surcharged, Honorable Speaker. The other cross-cutting issues, Honorable Speaker, issue we found out was the irregular board meetings, allowances, and the composition of board committees. We noted that, Honorable Speaker, irregular allowances were paid to board members either by incorporating more members than legally stipulated or holding more meetings than stipulated or without approval by the State Corporation Advisory Committee, SCAC, Public Service Commission, or the National Treasury, or the SRC, for that matter. This was noted, Honorable Speaker, in NSSF, in which the fund paid 68,782,807 for trustees' emoluments, being payment of 14 full board meetings and 9 finance, investments, and social security committee meetings, which exceeded the maximum number of 6 meetings approved in office of the President, circular reference number OP Cap 9/1A dated 11th March 2020. Honorable Speaker, the other issue we noted as an observation was the long outstanding receivables. The committee noted, Honorable Speaker, in the accounts of various agencies, that the 4 agencies, that there were challenges in recovering outstanding debts, which was also coupled with the lack of collection or recovery mechanisms, lack of effective debt management policies, poor record systems, and coordination between the debtors and the recipient entities. Such cases, Honorable Speaker, have been cited in National Syndemic Disease Control Council, which has a long outstanding receivable of 81,560,092, whose recoverability, Honorable Speaker, is doubtful. Honorable Speaker, the NSSF has also a similar issue in long outstanding receivables, in whose case, Honorable Speaker, a pending tax receivable amounting to 935,901,481 relating to tax refund comprising overpaid tax of 493,257,327 and Kenya shillings 411,646,389, making up a total sum, Honorable Speaker, of 904,903,717, inadvertently, Honorable Speaker, paid to the Kenya Revenue Authority in 1997, after the fund became income tax exempt in 1996. The tax refund, Honorable Speaker, due from the Kenya Revenue Authority was not supported by an acknowledgement from the Kenya Revenue Authority. Honorable Speaker, there is also the cross-cutting issue on long outstanding payables. The committee noted, Honorable Speaker, that the PFM Act Cap 412A provides that any pending bills from the form the first charge in the subsequent financial year budget. Some state corporations experience challenges in paying their outstanding debts. This was occasioned, Honorable Speaker, by poor budgetary controls and lack of proper documentation to support the payables for that matter, Honorable Speaker. A case in time, Honorable Speaker, is the National Syndemic Disease Control Council, whose long outstanding payable to suppliers and service providers amounted to 11,693,611. The NSSDCC has not explained, Honorable Speaker, why the long outstanding payables have remained unsettled. Honorable Speaker, we do make our final recommendation on this matter as follows: that within 3 months upon adoption of this report, all the entities with outstanding payables should prepare a report detailing how the payables arose, reasons for non-payment, measures taken to repay the debts, and the reasonable timelines when such debts should be settled. A copy of such report, Honorable Speaker, should be submitted to the National Treasury and the Auditor General as well for review. Allow me, Honorable Speaker, to move the House to the specific agencies as outlined in my opening remarks, Honorable Speaker, beginning with the National Syndemic Disease Control Council, formerly National AIDS Control Council, for financial year 2017-2018, taking the House through to 2023-24. Honorable Speaker, we did observe, particularly in 2017-2018, that there was an issue on cash and cash equivalents as detailed by the Auditor General, and the observation, Honorable Speaker, states that the accounting officer, during consideration of the audit process, where the audited entity and the auditors are in constant correspondence, errors and variances point to inaccuracies in financial statements and could as well be indicators of weak internal controls where transactions are deliberately omitted to perpetuate a fraud. Honorable Speaker, petty cash is the root cause of fraud. And where there is no reconciliation, the committee observed, Honorable Speaker, most of the issues were touching on reconciliation. Figures have been picked, checks have been issued, but Honorable Speaker, at the end of the year, the reconciliation does not add up. And that's why, Honorable Speaker, the Auditor General picked it as an issue during the audit process, and several such issues were cited and picked by the Auditor General, who was able to explain to the committee how it happened. Honorable Speaker, what do we recommend? That we have to reprimand, Honorable Speaker, the accounting officer, because he knows the law. And the law is resident in the regulations, Honorable Speaker, Section 90, Part 3 of the PFM Act, National Government Regulations 2015, which requires the accounting officers, Honorable Speaker, to ensure any discrepancies noted during bank reconciliations exercise are investigated immediately and appropriate action taken, including updating the relevant cash book. Honorable Speaker, the law requires that accounting officers reconcile their cash books monthly. 12 months down the line, Honorable Speaker, if reconciliation has not been tallied, it definitely allows that the accounting officer is the compromising entity, Honorable Speaker, in that transaction. And that's why we are reprimanding the accounting officer for that purpose, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, in the following year, we did take note of the contingent liability. And under this, Honorable Speaker, we noted that the disclosure of 10 million shillings in contingent liabilities indicated that the council was exposed to possible financial obligations if the claims were to materialize, which may strain the council's financial position. Honorable Speaker, there was a figure of 10 million shillings under contingent liability, which definitely puts the organization in a more vicarious level. Honorable Speaker, we also noted that while the management had expressed satisfaction with the adequacy of the disclosed amount, the committee noted that no detailed justification had been provided regarding the basis for the estimated liability and whether provisions for potential settlements have been considered. Honorable Speaker, for you to put a figure under contingent liability, you need to detail, give a summary of what is it about. It was just a blatant figure put into the financials at 10 million shillings. The accounting officer, Honorable Speaker, failure to pay the dues in time, and the payees eventually going to court is a point of poor governance, financial management, procurement, and contract management, leading to nugatory expenditure in the form of court fees. Honorable Speaker, at the end of the whole year, we saw that the figure which had been provided under contingent liability was eventually being discussed in court. So we could even not open so much about the issue, but still, what was not being provided was the legal fees. At the end of the day, those parties that went to court were lawyers, and they'll be paid will pay in defense of the case that had sued the organization. Therefore, we did recommend, Honorable Speaker, that within 3 months upon adoption of this report, the accounting officer of the agency to submit to the National Treasury a detailed report on status of trade payables, pending court cases, and provision of contingent liabilities made in respect of each case. Honorable Speaker, in 2020-2021, the same agency had an issue on receivables from an exchange transaction, which the committee observed similar to the observation in the 22nd report of my predecessor, PIC. And the issue was, Honorable Speaker, that the Council had taken several steps to improve its financial systems, including automation of financial processes through adoption of ERP, posting regional accountants to handle the Council's finances, and the use of mobile money for financial trail where disbursements were made. We did observe, Honorable Speaker, that the committee observed that no approval from National Treasury had been obtained to write off the debts, and no documentary evidence was submitted to prove that the several steps taken by the Council to improve their financial systems had yielded any value for the money expended. Honorable Speaker, in our recommendation on the same about the non-exchange transactions, we did say that within 4 months upon adoption of this report, the accounting officer for the Council should prepare and submit to the National Assembly a status report of the debts and the steps taken to ensure accountability of funds disbursed, especially in cases where it enters into partnership with different agencies. Honorable Speaker, the final issue that we did observe for this agency in 2023-24 was failure to submit car loan and mortgage financial statements. The committee noted that the accounting officer was in breach of Section 68(2)(k) of the Public Finance Management Act, Cap 412, that requires the officer to prepare annual financial statements for each financial year within 3 months after the end of the financial year and submit to the Auditor General for audit, and in the case of a national government entity, forward a copy to the National Treasury. Honorable Speaker, allow me to move the House to the second agency, which is National Social Security Fund for the financial years 2021-22 to 23-24. What we noted, Honorable Speaker, in year 21-22 was variances in opening balances. There were minimal, Honorable Speaker, minimal variances that were not reconciled in the fund, amounting to 136,422 between the opening and audited closing balances, indicating non-compliance with IPSAS 1, which is International Standards, Honorable Speaker, presentation of financial statements, which requires that opening balances of the current period must align with the closing balance of the previous period. Honorable Speaker, in audit, when you pick a figure of 136,422, you cannot just look at the face value of that figure. It could unearth more than the 136,422. The difference was as a result of casting error. Discovered adjustments were made in financial year 2021-22 opening balances submitted on 27th May 2022. But the auditors, Honorable Speaker, based their report on financial statements submitted earlier and audited before the said adjustments were effected. Honorable Speaker, going back to the auditors once the audit has been done is not allowed, is not permissible in proper practices as far as institutions are concerned, and therefore this was a breach of the law that they went behind after the auditor had gone through the accounts. The committee, therefore, Honorable Speaker, reprimands the then accounting officer for failing to appropriately communicate the amendments to the financial statements to the Auditor General for audit review and eventual reporting, leading to unreconciled balances that are questionable to the Auditor General. Honorable Speaker, in the same year, we did note the issue of non-performing investments in quoted equities. The fund, Honorable Speaker, continues to hold investments with no return by way of dividends or capital appreciation, and therefore the value for money on the investment worth 408,752,504 had not been achieved. The market value of these investments has been eroded by the inflationary effects in the economy without any corresponding gain in terms of interest or capital gains. The committee, Honorable Speaker, was able to observe that further noted that the management holding and performing investments contradicted the principles of sound financial management and prudent use of public resources as outlined in Article 201D of the Constitution. What do we recommend, Honorable Speaker? That within 3 months upon adoption of this report, the accounting officer and the board of the fund should review the investment policy to align with the principles of sound financial management and prudent use of public resources as outlined in Article 201D of the Constitution and the NSSF Act itself. Honorable Speaker, also, a copy of the approved investment policy, once it's done, should be submitted to the National Assembly and the Auditor General within this period for review. Honorable Speaker, we also noted non-performing investments, particularly, Honorable Speaker, Hazina Plaza, Polana Mombasa building. What did we note, Honorable Speaker? This is a case to look at in the 22nd PIC and 23rd PIC reports. This issue was discussed where the fund did not involve public works in the renovation of the building, Honorable Speaker, and instead contracted Techno Holdings Limited to renovate the building. 2, we noted that NSSF won the court case relating to the ownership of Hazina Plaza, Polana Mombasa building. 3, this property, Honorable Speaker, was purchased by the Board of Trustees in the year 1992 at 450 million shillings and had a net book value of 530 million shillings as at 30th June 2020. Honorable Speaker, this is a case of proper analysis where I would want members to really look at it keenly. However, Honorable Speaker, in the year 1992, the building having costed 450 million, but in the year 2009, the NSF advertised to sell this building for 300 million as their reserved price. The valuation, Honorable Speaker, valuation report from the Ministry of Lands, Public Works, Housing and Urban Development, as at that time of advertisement, was not provided for audit. Therefore, Honorable Speaker, somebody imagined and came up with a figure to post and say that figure will be used for advertisement purpose. Therefore, Honorable Speaker, we did say that within 3 months upon adoption of this report, the accounting officer, NSSF, should prepare and submit valuation report of Hazina Plaza, Polana Mombasa building to the National Assembly and the Auditor General for review and reporting in the subsequent audit cycle. Honorable Speaker, for the year 2022-23, we did note the issue of budgetary control and performance, where the fund incurred, Honorable Speaker, 7,328,971,740 against an approval expenditure budget of 7,001,625,222, resulting in an overutilization of 327,346,518 or 5% of the budget. 2, the fund undercollected, Honorable Speaker, 6,952,674,832 or 17% against the approved budget. The fund, therefore, Honorable Speaker, based its projection of revenue on weak assumptions. We do recommend, Honorable Speaker, that the accounting officer should and must at all times ensure that the budgets are realistic, achievable, and always adhere to annual work plan and revenue collection schedules. For the year 2023-24, Honorable Speaker, we did observe that there was revocation of irregularly issued land title deeds. The matter on revocation, Honorable Speaker, of irregularly issued title deed was addressed in the 22nd PIC, a report in which the committee made the following observations. The National Land Commission revoked the title held by NSSF via Gazette Notice number on 1st April 2010 and did not directly inform the fund about the revocation. The reasons for revocation were not given to either the NSSF or the committee at the time of allocation. 2, the allocation of an Honorable Speaker of the land to the judiciary predated the revocation of the title held by NSSF, which meant that 2 valid titles existed for the same parcel of land before revocation of NSSF title. Honorable Speaker, we did agree with those recommendations as enshrined in the 22nd report, although the issue was raised in the year 2023, 2024 once more. In the same year, Honorable Speaker, there is also the observation on the loss of realization of investments. The fund, through its contracted fund managers, sold low-yield bonds at an average of 12.38% and reinvested the proceeds into higher-yielding bonds at an average of 17.47%. We also observed, Honorable Speaker, that the fund outsourced the process of investment to fund managers who have a discretionary investment mandate. Therefore, Honorable Speaker, what do we recommend? That within 3 months of adoption of this report, the fund should develop and submit to the National Assembly a prudent investment policy that is anchored on a properly diversified portfolio spreading its investments across different asset classes, sectors, and geographies, using different investment styles to guide it to invest its funds, which are not for the time being required to be applied for the purpose of the fund in accordance with the provisions of Section 37 of the Retirement Benefits Act, Cap 197. The second issue, Honorable Speaker, we observed under the investments was investment in government bonds, where, Honorable Speaker, there was purchase of bonds at a premium. And the committee observed as follows, Honorable Speaker, that the fund indeed outsourced the process of investment to fund managers who have a discretionary investment mandate, and also that the purchase and sale of government treasury bonds in the secondary market are subject to market forces, including prevailing interest rates, demand and supply dynamics. Honorable Speaker, out of the total premium of 500 million shillings, the fund gained accrued interest of 255 million shillings, thus leading to a net premium of 245.7 million, out of which, Honorable Speaker, 159.5 million was premium paid to Central Bank of Kenya for the bonds purchased in the primary market. What does the committee recommend, Honorable Speaker? That the committee upholds the recommendation as detailed in the above paragraph, the earlier paragraph, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, the committee also observed trading in bonds, and under trading in bonds, the issue of sale of bonds at a discount price. And we noted as follows, that indeed, these discount bonds was as a result of, was participated by fund, the fund had outsourced the process of investment to fund managers who, I insist, have a discretionary investment mandate. The purchase and sale of government treasury bonds in the secondary market are subject to market forces, including prevailing interest rates, demand and supply dynamics. What do we observe, Honorable Speaker? The investment decisions undertaken by the fund managers generated a return of 13.5% from the assets managed by the fund managers, which was much higher compared to previous years when the fund was had generated returns lower than 4%. Therefore, Honorable Speaker, we insist and uphold our early recommendation as detailed above. Honorable Speaker, the issue that we also observed, as outlined by the Auditor General, was bonds purchased at premium but sold at discount. Honorable Speaker, the fund outsourced the process of investments to fund managers who have a discretionary investment mandate. And the purchase
and sale of government treasury bonds in the secondary market, Honorable Speaker, is behavioral, depending on the interest rates, demand and supply dynamics. What did we observe as a conclusion, Honorable Speaker? The investment decision made by the fund, that is the NSSF, during the financial year 23-24 resulted into better performance, resulting in an investment return of 12%. Honorable Speaker, the issue with the third agency we deal with is National Cancer Institute of Kenya for the financial years 2019, 2020, 2023, 2024. What did we observe, Honorable Speaker? There were unsupported traveling and subsistence expenditures. Although the management, Honorable Speaker, provided payment vouchers and supporting documents for the expenditure of $2,557,800 during the time of appearance before the committee, they failed to provide the same during the audit process. Honorable Speaker, the question is, where were they? These documents were there. And when they appeared before the committee, they were able to table and give us these payment vouchers. And yet, at the time of audit, Honorable Speaker, these documents were not made available. This contravenes Section 62(1), Part B of the Public Audit Act, Cap 412B, which states that a person shall not, without justification, fail to provide information required under the Public Audit Act. We also observed, Honorable Speaker, unsupported expenditure, that the organization, Honorable Speaker, incurred some expenditure which were not supported at all. And, Honorable Speaker, having expenditures that are not supported, that are outside the budget, which had been prepared by the agency and approved by the board, it's something that contravenes Section 62 of the Public Audit Act, particularly Section 80, Part 4 of the Public Procurement and Asset Disposal Act 412C. Honorable Speaker, in the year 2022-23, we did observe that there were undisclosed outstanding interests. The committee observed that the financial statements prepared and submitted for audit were inaccurate by excluding outstanding interests amounting to $8,141,287. This implies that the receivables were understated. Honorable Speaker, the accounting officers, especially the heads of finance, deliberately leave out some expenditures, some interests, which they feel they fail to account for, and they omit them in their financial statements, so that, Honorable Speaker, they feel the auditors will not be able to pick up the issues during the audit process. But for this time, they were not lucky. The auditors picked the figures, and we recommended as follows. Before even recommendation, Honorable Speaker, the second observation we noted was that the impress holders did not surrender the impress issued within the stipulated period, hence contravening the Section 93, Part 5 of the PFM Regulation 2015. Honorable Speaker, having the impress not surrendered was one issue, and the other issue was that having the impress not captured in the financials is the second issue. Therefore, the committee recommends that within 3 months upon adoption of the report, the Inspector General State Corporations to surcharge the then accounting officer the outstanding interest, Honorable Speaker, of $8,141,287 with interest at the prevailing CBK rate and submit evidence of recovery to the National Assembly. Honorable Speaker, the whole accounting officer was there. One, he did not allow, he allowed the Director of Finance not to capture the figures into the books. And the other mistake he did was, Honorable Speaker, he allowed the staff to go with the imprest, not to, to recover back the imprest. Therefore, it's upon him to give us that money back to the national coffers, kitty, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, for 2023-2024, there were weaknesses in internal controls and risk management where the committee observed, Honorable Speaker, that the Institute had not established any risk management policy, finance and accounting manual, asset management policy, transport management policy, information technology plan and disaster recovery plan. Further, the audit committee and internal control charters were not approved and operationalized. Honorable Speaker, this organization is working in darkness. They have no plan. And Honorable Speaker, if you don't plan, you definitely have allowed that you are planning to fail. An institution of this level, Honorable Speaker, to lack a risk management policy, to lack a finance and accounting policy, to lack any manual, Honorable Speaker, is disaster. And above all, Honorable Speaker, they do not have a risk, a recovery plan. Should data be lost, what plans do they have, Honorable Speaker? They'll wake up tomorrow and say they lost data either out of fire or somebody came into the office and burned the office. That should not suffice as an excuse to run an organization in the 21st century, Honorable Speaker. What do we recommend, Honorable Speaker? We say that within 3 months upon adoption of this report, the Institute to furnish the National Assembly with the current status on the establishment of risk management policy, finance and accounting manual, asset management policy, transport management policy, information technology plan and a disaster recovery plan, and the operationalization of the audit committee and the internal audit charters, Honorable Speaker. Let them prepare and furnish them back to this House. Honorable Speaker, my last agency for this report is the Child Welfare Society of Kenya. Honorable Speaker, this is a very, very good agency that many Kenyans do not know about it. The only agency, Honorable Speaker, established to help us understand issues touching on children, issues touching on abuse of children, Honorable Speaker, trafficking of children in and out of this country, Honorable Speaker. This is the agency that surely handles very sensitive matters of children. And Honorable Speaker, this, for the year 2015-2016, we did make an observation under the property, plant, and equipment that although the Society, Honorable Speaker, reported progress so far made in the acquisition of ownership documents, the pace has been slow. Honorable Speaker, this society exists in the entire country, but nobody, very many of us do not know, and including myself, I learned of it when I was now doing the accounts for them, Honorable Speaker. Without the ownership documents, Honorable Speaker, the society's parcels of land are exposed to the risks of being grabbed, ownership disputes, and liability or contingencies associated to legal processes in cases and cases in court. Honorable Speaker, without mentioning the parties, Honorable Speaker, this organization is in court, has very many cases in court with people who are anticipating to grab their land. Most of their land is in very good estates, land in Karen, land in Mudaiga, land in very good places, Honorable Speaker. And Kenyans are very good at having appetite for visiting any land that seems or appears not to be occupied. Honorable Speaker, what do we recommend? That within 3 months upon adoption of this report, the accounting officer, in collaboration with the Principal Secretary for Social Protection, the PS for Lands, and the National Lands Commission should put caveats in the lands owned to protect them from risk of illegal transfer and dealings. Honorable Speaker, their lands, some of them, they have no caveats, but they are very prime. Some of the land, Honorable Speaker, is next to, allow me to use a proper word, like is neighboring animal farmers, livestock keepers. That is to say, like yourself, Honorable Speaker, not that it's you, but the neighbors, livestock keepers. So whose livestock, Honorable Speaker, they don't have a boundary. They cross to graze in that land. So what happens, Honorable Speaker? Habitation of the children into that land becomes a problem because every now and then the livestock keepers keep on moving in and out of the land. So we say they need to put a caveat and even put a fence. They need to put a fence along the properties, Honorable Speaker, which they've not done. The other issue, Honorable Speaker, in 2018-2019, which you noted of the agency, was unreconciled variance in receivables. The reported receivables, Honorable Speaker, of 6,136,717 differed with a ledger balance of 7,196,241, resulting to an explained variance of 1,059,524. However, the submission of the management that the variance resulted from loan deductions not posted but the final accounts, the ledgers and accounts figures balance, Honorable Speaker, was misleading since the auditors verified the final accounts and hence the audit query arose. Therefore, Honorable Speaker, in our recommendation, we did say, and we do reprimand the accounting officer for misleading submission to the committee, failure to keep proper records, or concealing or wrongfully destroying information that is required to be recorded in an office is an offense prescribed and punishable under Section 197 of the PFM Act, Cap 412. Honorable Speaker, any concealing of information or purporting to destroy information is punishable. And that's why, Honorable Speaker, we do reprimand the accounting officer for such issue. With that, Honorable Speaker, allow me to appreciate my colleagues, members of my committee, the Vice Chair, the distinguished colleagues who have taken a lot of time. When you look at the years, Honorable Speaker, we are discussing in the 7th report are quite a number of years. They have taken time burning their midnight oils, sitting long hours, Honorable Speaker, to examine the accounts and review and interrogate the leadership of the various agencies. Allow me to thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving us this opportunity to air and report back to the House our deliberations in our committee. Allow me to thank the clerk of the National Assembly, Honorable Speaker, for seconding or allowing the Director of Audit Committees to coordinate our department very well. We have a very able Secretary, Honorable Speaker, and that is why our reports are flowing. But if there is a dispute or a difference in mind or deeds with your Secretary, Honorable Speaker, it's not easy to work under such an environment. Allow me, Honorable Speaker, to thank my colleagues and invite as many as possible to contribute to this report so that, Honorable Speaker, let us consume the information from the Auditor General, who has seconded 3 of her staff, Honorable Speaker, whom I want to thank for participating and taking long hours with our committee. And I want to appreciate the Honorable Member for Kwanza for also having taken time and willingness to second my report. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Allow me, I beg to move and ask the great member of Kwanza, the Honorable Ferdinand Wanyonyi, to second.
Ferdinand Wanyonyi.
Mr. Speaker, I just, you can see the detail of this particular reporting because PIC in this 13th Parliament, Mr. Speaker, looks at everything that actually is just among the 6 watchdog committees in this particular House. And as reported, in fact, if I went one by one, I'll just be repeating what we actually sat down and gave to the chairman to be able to make this presentation. And therefore, these reports actually, we look at the audit generals and, of course, to ensure that the public resources are effectively actually used. So, very effectively, and therefore I just want to take this opportunity to say I want to thank the chairman. I think you did a good job. I think that presentation, Mr. Speaker, you can also understand. We have gone through so many of those and we have been sitting hours to be able to look at each one of those. And for me now to go back and look at each one of those again, it will be just a repetition. But I want to take this opportunity to say, actually, I want to second the mover for this particular presentation. And let's look at each one of this. And particularly, the Speaker, you know, the issue of land is very, very emotive in this country. And therefore, I think we looked at each one of those, particularly the organization that actually have that, we don't even have title deeds on some of them. And I think, again, there are people who are sitting with this information without actually coming forward. And some of the accounting officers, we actually are said proudly that will be pre-implemented because they can't even explain why they have not done whatever is supposed to be done. So with those few remarks, the Speaker, I second this very important motion, and I hope that the House will have enough time to look at each one of those so to be able to see whether it can make our country be actually answerable to the public. Thank you.
Yeah. Are you an accountant or an auditor by the background? No wonder you are so thorough and very professional in this case. I must commend you for that. Honorable members, I now propose the question that this House adopts the 7th report of the Public Investments Committee on Social Services, Administration and Agriculture on its examination of financial statements of the following state corporations laid on the table of the House on Wednesday, the 13th of August, the year 2025. Roman 1, National Syndemic Diseases Control Council, formerly National AIDS Control Council, for the years 2017 to 2018 and 2023 to 2024. Roman 2, National Social Security Fund for the year 2021, 2022 to 2023, 2024. Roman 3, National Cancer Institute of Kenya for the year 2019 to 2020 to 2023 to 2024. And Roman 4, Child Welfare Society of Kenya for the year 2015 to 2016 to 2018 to 2019. The Honorable, you want to contribute? Yes.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, and I want to thank the Chairman, the Honorable Wangwe, for a good job well done and a good presentation and detail, Honorable Speaker. That's what we expect of chairs, to be detailed and also to speak to the real issues that are there. I want to also to thank the committee, including my friend here, Ferdinand Wanyonyi, the great man from Kwanza, 4th term member of Parliament, for being part of that team. But Honorable Speaker, there are certain things that I note in this report. As you listen to the chairman making that presentation, there are a lot of things that parastatal heads are doing that are ruining organizations. And audit, Honorable Speaker, is what makes us understand whether a corporation is healthy or not healthy. It is through audit that we know whether appropriation of funds is done or misappropriation fund is done, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, when we listen to audit reports like that, where recommendations that are being made is that the CEO has to be surcharged, and you could hear that word many times, Honorable Speaker, on those corporations, CEO must be surcharged, CEO must be surcharged. It tells you there is mismanagement, Honorable Speaker. But the sad thing that happens, Honorable Speaker, mismanagement takes place, audit points out, but that CEO, even when he is surcharged and left on that seat, what happens? What is the logical thing? He will continue to pilfer. He'll continue to ruin that organization so that he recoups the surcharge that was done. Honorable Speaker, what we want to see, if a CEO has not managed a corporation, a government corporation well, he should be shown the door. He should leave. And he should not only be surcharged, he should be taken to court, Honorable Speaker, so that we get justice for the people of Kenya. Honorable Speaker.
I don't know whether the system is the same as it used to be before this new constitution came to force. But during the early days,
yes, I could
there
take
was
a
also there was also provision to recommend that this person should not hold a public office anymore. Not only surcharging, but should not be allowed to hold a public office. And that more or less was a norm that every CEO knew that would be the end of his or her stint in public sector if she does not correct or he doesn't correct. Yeah, proceed.
And Honorable Speaker, that's what should happen. If you're a CEO and you have been surcharged, you should not continue to hold public office, Honorable Speaker. If actually a committee of audit or the Auditor General recommends that you should be surcharged, that is actually a pointer that you are mismanaging the organization. But the sad thing, Honorable Speaker, these CEOs that have been talked about here, probably they still hold office. And they will be moved from this corporation they have pilfered and finished, and they moved to another. Eventually, they will want to become members of parliament, Honorable Speaker. And they will come here, Honorable Speaker, and want to do dishonorable things, Honorable Speaker. And this is what we need to guard as a nation. CEOs of corporations are actually the frontliners of government operations. And if frontliners of government operations mismanage organizations, they should be taken to the back burner and not allowed ever to manage. Secondly, Honorable Speaker, I sit here and many times in this position that I hold.
You're a point of order, Honorable Kwanza, Wanyonyi Fred. Yeah, what's your point of order? Can you give him the mic?
Mr. Speaker, I just want to inform, and it be on record, that
you want to inform him?
We're informing my colleague.
Is he willing to have your information?
Yeah, he's listening.
No.
So all I'm saying is that in each case, we have given a timeline. Either 3 months, whatever, and most of this will come in this house. So those that will not have made that, whatever we have asked them to do, then of course we do what you are just saying, will be remanded. And that we have been very, very specific on each case. I just want to let my colleagues know.
And certain resources to be recovered from them directly.
Honorable Speaker, the thing that I expect in those 3 months, those reports move to the Committee on Implementation, Honorable Speaker. And the Committee on Implementation has a duty of care for the nation to come back here and say, we have reprimanded this CEO and we have recommended that he should be removed from that position because of mismanagement. That's what we need to see. But Honorable Speaker, I was making a point that I sit here and read and lay papers. And one of the things that I do is I lay papers for a lot of the corporations in this country. And if you look at the list of corporations that we lay the papers on here, Honorable Speaker, there are many, many organizations. And that's why I want to thank Chairman Wangwe for the good, thorough work that he has done, Honorable Speaker. Okay. But the point that I'm trying to make is all these corporations whose accounts we look at here get a budget line from this parliament. They get money. Money which would have used for very other good things. But because the state corporations, and every state corporation gets exchequer, and we appropriate funds for them. And if you look at the money is appropriated almost to these corporations. They run into billions and billions, hundreds of billions of shillings. We are giving state corporations to buy cars, to do operations, to pay salaries, and to do all that. But what happens to all this money when put together? It gets wasted. There is no value for money. The only way we can know there's no value for money, and the only way we can save taxpayers' money, is to ensure that, Honorable Speaker, if you have mismanaged a state corporation, we should not give you money in the next budget. It should not. And the A appropriations in aid, which they receive.
Isn't that your role as a member?
And that's what I'm saying. I'm saying this because
Assembly, you hold the pass.
The chairman is here. Yes. So next time, when your committees are supposed to do budget for those corporations, and because you have done the audit, you should write to the committee chairs, the departmental committees, and tell them this state corporation should not be given money because it wasted the last budget, Honorable Speaker. And that's the only way we can save state money and taxes, Honorable Speaker. And Honorable Speaker, I can see the Honorable Wangwe has a point.
Yeah, proceed.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. With all due respect to my
senior leader here. You know, this is a House of Records, and when he directs that I write a letter or information to a departmental committee, it is vertical, it's horizontal communication, which cannot work for our committee. Instead, vertically it has to come here and sanction that committee through the report. Therefore, Honorable Speaker, as a leader, as my leader on the other side, he should just give direction rather than again giving it a second delegation to me or my committee to do what he can do in his position, Honorable Speaker.
There again, Honorable.
I'm not shy from saying, Honorable Speaker, I direct this House that state corporations which lose money should not be given money in the next budget. They should not. And CEOs who have misappropriated funds should not be still in position in the next budget cycle to receive money and waste, Honorable Speaker. That's how we're going to save taxpayers' money. And this taxpayers' money, Honorable Speaker, I want to draw your attention. Today, I presented papers here, and one of the things I did is the list of loans that we have taken and the debts that we have. But ask yourself, this money, these loans that we take, sometimes this money ends up in these state corporations. And these state corporations get money that are loans. And they use the same money, Honorable Speaker, and waste the money. So what happens? We keep on paying loans. Loans which money has been borrowed, but has been misappropriated. And that guy who has misappropriated the money is still in office. And yet we have an audit report here that actually indicates that the person wasted resources. Honorable Speaker, we cannot continue that way. It is immoral, it is wrong, it is taking this country backwards. Transparency and accountability should be the banner of a democracy. It should be the banner of democracy. And it should what drives our, if your accounts have been audited and issues have been found, Honorable Speaker, and they have come to the floor of the House, and the House has actually reprimanded you, this is the last point where audit comes, Honorable Speaker. The last point of audit, Honorable Speaker. But we still see. We have seen vice chancellors who have mismanaged universities. And they are still in those positions, Honorable Speaker. They're still there. We have seen universities that have collapsed, Honorable Speaker. And vice chancellor still wears a cap, holds a graduation, and says, I'm the vice chancellor. And yet there's a chancellor there who still says, yes, you're there. Honorable Speaker, we have chairmen in these state corporations, chairmen who preside over the rot because they are yes people to the CEOs. You know, a CEO always holds the chairman very closely. And therefore, the chairman cannot hold into account the CEO. And it becomes a vicious cycle. Honorable Speaker, if you as chairman of a state corporation, that state corporations have been cited for audit and misappropriation of funds, Honorable Speaker, both the CEO, the chairman, and the board should go. But because of political patronage, Honorable Speaker, and I want to speak this with
The Chair appreciates very much the passion with which you are prosecuting this matter. But can I just ask you one question?
Yes.
Is the CEO of a Child Welfare Society in 2015, 2016 still loading an office? Indeed, most of these things, I would be surprised if the CEO of the National Cancer Institute was there 2019 is still around. He's not around.
And that's why.
Just a moment.
That brings me to my next point.
Hang on, just to enrich you on what you have to say.
Yes,
and if the CEO of the National Social Security Fund in 2021 is still around, he's not around, or she's not around. And the same goes, I think, for the one who was there 2017, because that's a good 8 years ago. So I think it goes both ways. Parliament also has a responsibility. I mean, this is just for the interest of the chair. The chair is also a member of Parliament, you know that.
Yes.
That we get these reports on time.
And that was what my next point is, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker.
Yes, the Honorable Komenje.
Honorable Speaker.
Komenje is on a point of order.
I like this debate.
Are you on a point of order, point of information?
Yes, Honorable Speaker.
Proceed.
I was trying to find the standing order that establishes the Committee of Implementation, Honorable Speaker.
Yes.
And perhaps, and just bring it to your attention, Honorable Speaker, because once the Committee of Implementation receives these reports, and after they are tabled, there's a period of implementation that requires that the Committee of Implementation can only follow, I think, after 3 or 6 months. That's why I was trying 60 days. I stand guided 60 days, Honorable Speaker. Perhaps, Honorable Speaker, the majority leader who is standing in here, when they meet as House business, they need to resolve to allow the Committee of Implementation and these other oversight committees, the PICs and the PACs, to table their reports earlier. They are debated, approved, and referred to the Committee of Implementation so that we can keep up with some of these reports. Otherwise, you find the Committee of Implementation is looking at reports that were done in the 11th Parliament and not up to date. So by the time we catch up, these CEOs have retired and left or gone somewhere else. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Order. Honorable Mwenje, you make a lot of sense. But in this case here, there shall be a select committee to be known as the Committee on Implementation. The committee shall scrutinize the resolutions of the House, including adopted committee reports. You're just about to adopt this report now. So the implementation committee you can't put the horse, the cart before the horse. What will it implement if this report is not there from the committees? So the starting point, in my opinion, is that these reports by the Public Investments Committee, Public Accounts Committee, should not be more than 1 year or 2 years old. That way you're able to get a CEO who is in office. But proceed. I mean, this is just to basically give you a bit of, proceed.
Say this, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, you see, 13th Parliament, what 13th Parliament has tried to do is to redeem that. Give me like 5 more minutes.
Proceed. You can
You
have
see,
3 more minutes.
13th Parliament has tried to redeem that because you remember we only used to have one Public Accounts Committee. And it was very difficult, Honorable Speaker, to ensure that all the accounts of all these state corporations were audited and the reports came to the floor, Honorable Speaker. And therefore, I want, Mwanje, you are here at 12th Parliament? No, you are not. It's this Parliament. But you see, this is the first time we're having this many committees. It used to be only one. So what you are saying actually can happen only if we hasten the process to get all these reports out as soon as possible. And that's why I like what Wangwe has done. Chairman Wangwe, has consolidated reports of many years. You have reached which year? 2017?
No, yes, literally.
2024, which I want to congratulate him, Honorable Speaker. Yes. Next year, probably his next report will be a current report. And therefore, the implementation committee will be able to look at a current report and implement the resolution, force the implementation of the resolution. And that is what we must do. And I want to urge all these committee chairs of audit committees that we have, Honorable Speaker, to actually do that. We need to catch the guy when he is still at work. And we bring him here to Parliament and shame him and throw him out. Instead of them just continuing to squander and finish public institutions, Honorable Speaker. Even when we merge them, there is a paper I will table here, Honorable Speaker, and a motion I will bring on government enterprises, Honorable Speaker. But if we do that, if we do not catch these guys, they will continue their bad manners to waste taxpayers' money. We continue to pay loans. We continue to feed them, to eat, and all that, Honorable Speaker. There has to come a time to stop the squander of public resources by incompetent CEOs of these corporations. And I want them to hear that we are coming for them and will bring them to this house. We shall shame them and throw them out. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
The Honorable Ndini Nyoro.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. And I want to laud the committee for the report, and I want to give a few comments on it. One, Honorable Speaker, is that it is important we are discussing about the audit of corporations at a time when you actually check the government data about the borrowing of our country, and I'm bringing in borrowing because it is also attached, because most of the implementation of government is done by SAGAS, is that the first 2 months of this financial year, Honorable Speaker, you can imagine the country spent 386 billion shillings to service debt. And within that 2 months, the country only received 329 billion in tax revenue. What does that mean? We actually spent 117% of our collections in servicing debt. It means we spent all the money we collected in servicing debt, but borrowed even more to service debt. And it is a grim situation. It is green because much of the money that is borrowed by the state also is implemented in terms of projects through the kind of sagas that we are debating their reports today. But going specific, Honorable Speaker, to this debate, I want just to highlight on two sagas or two corporations. One is the Child Welfare Society of Kenya. And Honorable Speaker, if you check the audits we are debating today, some actually date back to 8 years ago. We are debating here a report of 2016. And we are in 20, as you put it, Honorable Speaker, it's actually 10 years. And I wonder then, what kind of utility can we give to the expenditure of public resources when we are debating the audit for 10 years ago? Definitely a lot has happened. There is a lot of dynamic situations that have been witnessed, including change of personnel and the rest. But I hope we are going to improve, and especially in terms of the audit committees. Honorable Speaker, on child welfare, I have been interacting with them in my previous station, and I want to say that some of these sagas actually do a lot of work when it comes to granting social service to our country. And there has been a lot of back and forth in terms of the anchoring of the Child Welfare Society of Kenya, whether as a government saga or whichever. There has been a lot of back and forth. But primarily the kind of work they do is public. And I say so because there has been a lot of confusion when it comes to funding the Child Welfare Society of Kenya, because some of the people in the National Treasury don't want to assign them their rightful role as a government parastatal, which they are, Honorable Speaker, based on what they do. But also we have seen the kind of service they render to the public of Kenya needs money continually. Is this not a saga where you need to fund money this year, the next year you need to decide whether to fund? Because the kind of things they do is, for example, paying school fees for vulnerable children, feeding some of these rescued children. You cannot fund them this year, and then there is, next year, somebody is gravitating towards whether to fund or not. In fact, Honorable Speaker, some of these sagas, their funding should actually come from CFS. From CFS, so that even before we are paid our salaries, some of these very critical and important bodies should actually be funded even before. At the category where we fund the service of debt, that is where they need to be funded. The critical point I had is this one, Honorable Speaker, on NSSF. Honorable Speaker, and I want to request the committee to even go further than what they have done. Because as the people's representatives, our audit should not just be about figures. It should also be about results and intentions. The foundation of NSSF is to safeguard workers' money. Workers' money, when it comes to their contribution, they are the ones to take up the contributions, but also to do the payouts at the due time. Honorable Speaker, you cannot repay money when you have it. There is nothing, you cannot pay money on credit. You cannot repay it to pensioners when you have it. And that is why the mandate of NSSF primarily is to make sure that they are investing the monies they are collecting. One is to beat inflation. But also number two is to make sure that the purse is growing, not shrinking. So that when the time to pay up comes, you cannot pay up money through stories. You can only pay up money through money. I say so, Honorable Speaker, because we need to be very forthright when it comes to the critical roles of NSSF. The work of NSSF is to collect money, invest. One of the areas they need to do is that, and to always have in mind, is that they need to have a commercial mind in all the endeavors they make in terms of investments. And in doing so, NSSF money, because these are contributions by Kenyans, even in those investments, should go towards investments that are also helping Kenyans, even as they work, even as before they wait for retirement. So that you actually beat two birds with one stone. You are serving them now with their money, but also the money is growing so that when they need the money is actually available. Honorable Speaker, That calls for diversity. NSSF, you look primarily in Kenya, they focus on T-bills, they focus on treasury boards, they focus on the market, the equities market. And they are predominant when it comes to purchases of shares in the Nairobi Securities Exchange. But Honorable Speaker, they need to broaden further. As a catalyst of an economy, if you look at, for example, the capital markets in the US, there are critical funds I keep mentioning here, for example, private equity funds, venture capital funds. And NSSF is at a very vantage point, Honorable Speaker, to be able to even establish those kind of funds. So that beyond investing in the secondary market, they should also invest in the primary market, in the series funding of companies, so that at the same time as they are growing the purse, they are also helping in incubating SMEs and helping them thrive. But of course, that can only happen when there is a lot of professionalism instilled when it comes to management of the funds at the NSSF. Honorable Speaker, and I bet that the chair is listening.
I think he's very
Keen.
very attentive, extremely keen.
I have been somewhat disappointed of late by the way in which we are deploying the resources when it comes to NSSF. Honorable Speaker, the guideline, the only guiding tool when it comes to investments is beyond stimulating the economy, but making sure that when you put in a shilling, it comes back as more. Because that is the basis of investments. But, Honorable Speaker, we cannot afford to put NSSF money on a grandiose of implementation, of experimentation. Honorable Speaker, even when you are experimenting, you don't hedge your entire purse. You use just a fraction. We have seen a lot of experimentation nowadays when it comes to NSSF on different terms. One term, for example, we saw the other day the government of Kenya was trying to raise money on hedging the money that goes to sports fund through a board called Talanta Fund. Honorable Speaker, the truth of the matter is that this board was actually taken to the Nairobi Securities Exchange on the secondary market, but the investors of that board is still public money. NSSF was the number 2 investor in the Talanta board. Honorable Speaker, this is 45 billion Kenya shillings, which was shunned by all the other private enterprises, including banks. Private banks in the private arena never invested in Talanta board, but NSSF money found its way there, around 10 billion shillings. I don't think that was prudent. Number 2, Honorable Speaker, is the issue of PPPs. It is important for Kenyans to know the expansion of Nairobi to Nakuru Highway is not being funded by the kind of debt that I mentioned, which is growing astronomically. It is through a PPP, but PPP is just a name. We are actually spending NSSF money in building the road. And then we are telling NSSF that they put toll stations, they recover their investment through tolling. One, it is wrong to toll Nairobi-Nakuru Highway. It is wrong economically to toll it because it is not economically viable to toll it. But number 2, also, it is not commercially viable for workers' money to do the work that the government should be doing.
Badi.
Asante sana Mheshimiwa Spika kwa kunipatia fursa hii ili na mimi kuchangia katika hii kamati ya ripoti ya kamati ya uhasibu. Mheshimiwa Spika, jambo la kwanza nataka kumpongeza sana Mheshimiwa Wangwe ambaye ni mwenyekiti wa kamati hii ya uhasibu. Na mimi binafsi nataka kumpongeza Mheshimiwa Wangwe kwa sababu tajriba aliyoonyesha katika ripoti hii ni ya hali ya juu sana. Na Mheshimiwa Spika, hakuanza leo. Mheshimiwa Wangwe alikuwa mkuu wa uhasibu kule kwetu Changamwe katika kampuni inaitwa Coast Hauliers Kwa hivyo ni mtu ambaye tajiriba yake imetoka mbali mpaka leo. Mheshimiwa Spika, kitu ambayo nataka kusema, nitajaribu zaidi sana kuingia katika vipengee vya mashirika manne peke yake ambayo hususan ndio ambayo ripoti yake imekuja. Ya National Syndemic Disease Control Council ambayo zamani ilikuwa ni National AIDS Council, Control Council, National Social Security Fund, National Cancer Institute of Kenya na Child Welfare Society of Kenya. Hizi ni ripoti 4, Mheshimiwa Spika, ambazo zimeletwa na kamati hii. Lakini Mheshimiwa Spika, nataka kusema lao ingelikuwa kuna ripoti ya 5 ambayo ni ya Kenya Cashew Nuts Board pengine imeletwa, Mheshimiwa Owen Baya namna alivyozungumza, engemtafuta huyo CEO wa Kenya Cashew Nuts aliyeua, basi naye akamalizana naye hapa hapa. Kwa hivyo mimi nataka kusema leo kuungana mkono na wenzangu Mheshimiwa Spika sana kusema kuwa ripoti hizi ambazo tuko nazo, tukiangalia kama ripoti hii ya Child Welfare Society of Kenya.
Yes. What's your point of order, Mr. Chief Oromodo? Oh, Kasim, sawa Mheshimiwa, pole.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Is the Honorable Member in order to claim that one Honorable buyer can finish another CEO? I'm not comfortable with. Is he in order to use that language that one can be finished?
Yes, indeed, Honorable Badi, you have used an unparliamentary language. You cannot say, did he say to kill him? What did he say? Angemaliza, which is basically means to kill him. You withdraw that, please, immediately. We don't take the law into our own hands in a lawmaking institution, a lawmaking body, the National Assembly of the Republic of Kenya. Yes, proceed. Withdraw. And apologize. He already has it.
Speaker.
Yes.
Sawa, nimetupilia mbali na nasema pia
umeomba msamaha.
Nimeomba msamaha kulingana na haya, lakini kulingana na uchungu ambayo Mheshimiwa Owen Baya amekuwa nao, lazima ilikuwa ndio sisi tusherekeshe ili kuonesha kama alikuwa na uchungu sana juu ya haya mashirika. Mheshimiwa Spika, kitu ambacho mimi ningependa niseme ni kwa kuwa katika ripoti hizi, tukiziangalia ripoti hii ya kwanza ni ripoti ya mwaka 2017 2018 mpaka 2023 na 24. Ripoti ya pili 21 22 mpaka 23 24. Ripoti ya tatu 2019 2020 23 24. Na ripoti ya mwisho iko 2015 mpaka 16 na mpaka mwaka 2018 na 19. Nataka kusema tukitaka kumtathmini mwenyekiti Mheshimiwa Wangwe kwa hizi ripoti 3, tukiangalia zote amezipeleka mpaka mwaka 2023 na 24. Ina maana kuwa tukimpa mwaka ujao ripoti itaweza kuja kulingana na wakati ambao utakuwa unafaa. Sasa tunasema katika kamati ya utekelezaji ni muhimu kamati kama hizi zikishakuja na ripoti zake, kamati ya utekelezaji ione kuwa imeweza kutekeleza yale ambayo yanatakikana kwa haraka iwezekanavyo, kwa sababu hii kamati kupitia Mheshimiwa Wangwe imeipa muda, kwa kizungu tunasema timelines, ya miezi 3, lakini utakuja kuta miezi 3 imemalizika, komiti ya utekelezaji mpaka saa hizi hakuna lolote ambalo linaweza kufanyika juu ya hapa. Mfano, katika haya mashirika mwaka 2017 mpaka leo, huyu mkurugenzi mkuu, wengine washakufa, wengine hivi sasa wazunguka na mambo yao, wengine hivi sasa hawajulikani mahali walipo. Sasa sisi twajadili kamati, ripoti ya kamati kwa namna hii, lakini tutake kusema ukweli, je, hatua gani ambayo tutaweza kuichukua? Mheshimiwa Spika, mimi ninavyoona, nakubaliana na ndugu yangu Owen Baya, ikiwa kuna shirika ambalo limekuwa na ubadhirifu wa pesa na haliwezi kuleta ripoti kwa wakati wa mwaka unaofuata, wasipawe budget mpaka wahakikishe kwa wameweza kuweka makaratasi yao ama hisabu zao ziwe sawasawa. Tukiangalia Mheshimiwa wangu amezungumza kuhusu NSSF. Leo hii kuna miradi mikubwa, kuna mali nyingi za NSSF, lakini hakuna hatimiliki ya mali kama hizo za NSSF, mahali ambapo umiliki wake haujulikani uko kinamna gani. Kwa hivyo kitu cha muhimu ambacho mimi nataka kukisema leo, Mheshimiwa Spika, ni kwa kuwa wale wote ambao walifanya ubadhirifu wa pesa, na kamati imekuja na hii report baada ya miezi mitatu kama kamati ilivyosema, baada ya kupitishwa, ili hatua ile ipatikane, watafutwe kokote waliko, kwa sababu kama pesa ni NSSF, ni pesa ya wafanyikazi. Wafanyikazi, Mheshimiwa Spika, wanaumia jasho lao, hasa sasa katika nchi hii yetu ya Kenya. Maisha ni magumu sana. Ukiangalia wao wenyewe wanajikimu ili wapate pesa kwa maisha yao baadaye na watoto wao, wampata mtu mkurugenzi mkuu ndio afanya mambo yake ambayo hayawezi kueleweka. Kwa hivyo, Mheshimiwa Spika, nataka kusema kuwa naiunga mkono ripoti hii ya kamati ya uhasibu, na vile vile kusema kuwa kutoka kupitishwa kwake mpaka miezi mitatu itakapofika hatua, Mheshimiwa Spika, iwe itaweza kuchukuliwa. Mheshimiwa Spika, kwa hayo ambayo nimeweza kuchangia, nataka kuchukua fursa hii kushukuru kwa kunipatia muda na mimi pia kuchangia katika ripoti ya kamati hii. Asante sana.
Honorable Bissau.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. I would like to really congratulate the chair, Honorable Wangwe, because if you look at this report, it covers 7 years. And I think it's in the wisdom of the House that we decided to break up these entities into different peaks or public investment committees so that we could address this particular backlog. What is worrying, Mr. Speaker, if you look at most of the reports, they've been qualified reports. A very clear indication that the way things have been done in the past is not been in the correct manner. But from where it's been picking up the backlog of the 7 years, it is very clear that going forward, the heads of institutions will be able to ensure that actually they go by the book and as per the set audit requirements. But again, what is critical, Mr. Speaker, most of these entities have had their heads there for more than 3 years. And continuously, if you have a head of the organization getting maybe qualified results in terms of the audit, that is a very clear indication that there is non-performance. So even us as a House, as we go forward, as much as the reports are being submitted, we need to come up with a very clear terms that in the event that a person or head of an institution is not performing 3 years continuously, then it's a very clear indication that that person is not fit to hold office. And lastly, Mr. Speaker.
Order, honorable members, Honorable Bissau, when this debate resumes again, you will have 8 minutes. Honorable members, please keep standing. The time being 7 p.m., this House stands adjourned until Wednesday, the 8th of October at 9:30 a.m.
Good afternoon to you.